Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Good to see everyone, man. Dr. Peabody, what's up, man?
Man, good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. Just good to be back here on the closing argument, man. Good to be back.
Yeah, it's good to be back, man. It's a lot of news, man. A lot of news in the air, though.
Man, a lot of things happening in Liberia. The news, it's news, and news. A lot of news, man. A lot of news. You know, lots and lots of news taking place, Tomalin.
I just got off the phone with Representative Chris Smith office.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Friday we hope to get we'll get a response from them. Trying to hear
Mm.
from his office. He been behind this war crimes code business and issue of corruption in Liberia a lot. So reach out to him, and he's been playing a meaningful role. So hopefully we hear from his office on Friday. He'll tell us something about the U.S. government support to the establishment of the War Economic Crimes Court in Liberia. But everyone's welcome. It's good to be back on the closing argument. Today is Wednesday, April 10th, 2024. Good to be back on the show. We over the weekend we traveled to Charlotte to celebrate the homegoing of our brother Henry Duba Jr. and his mother.
Yeah. Right.
It was a great gathering of Liberians, but on a sad occasion, and folks we have not seen for months, for years. We met, and the good thing about that is that you won't believe it though. People that are political enemies or so, we met over there, and everybody was like, put that thing aside and let us reunite. Politics over. Let us. There are people who were not speaking to some of us, but when they met us, we put aside everything and then just to celebrate and say, uh, it's about time that we come together, for the good of our country. I mean, for the good of our country. So, but it was a nice celebration, a well-attended funeral,
That's
uh,
awesome.
and these people from all political persuasion was there. But there's some people that even from our that follow the show. I know I met Wan T. Clark and her husband, Dr. Clark.
Okay.
Yeah, I met uh, our friends from Georgia. Um,
Mm.
yeah, we took some photos with them. It was a nice occasion. I came with Lofa, saw Lofa again. I'm not seeing for years, but we met and
That's
had a great
awesome.
time. Yeah, it was a great time, man. A solemn occasion, but great.
Well, that's a very good thought to me. I mean, I know Henry very well. He's a very good friend of mine, and fortunately, I was in the air on my way back to the States when the funeral was taking place. I tried to fly there on Saturday, but the ticket was like in the
Yeah,
almost $1,000 just for. So I really couldn't make it, but it really was sad that I couldn't make it. But especially he and his mom, I already planned to attend his mom's funeral, and just
yeah.
to fly, you know.
Yeah, I had talked. We chatted a lot, almost every day on via Messenger. I know we talked about his mother's funeral. I told him, I said, Bello, make sure you
Mm.
update me, man. I want to I will come for the old mom's funeral. He said, yeah, I'll keep you updated. And then on my birthday, man, I was on my birthday when Ben Sanvee texted me and told me that. He said, you heard about Bello, about Henry Dubai? I said, wait a minute. I said, his mom passed.
Mm.
He said, no. He said Henry passed. I mean, that was a day I will never forget, especially it happened on my birthday. It was
Mm.
sad, very sad. Yeah, I see Edwin Crow. He and I flew together, and in fact,
Wow.
Peabody, Edwin Crow, right? He went and got electric car for car
Wow.
rental, right? Then he called me. He said, "My man, the car telling me I got 6% left." I said, "I said you must sit down." And since he on be in his morning car, that's 6%. You don't really run on the road though.
I can't want to break down here in the road.
Yeah, it was a fun though. He and Abambo and I were together.
Oh
International
wow,
Captain Pool. And we had
that's nice.
that was a nice weekend, but it was sad, but nice weekend. And,
Yeah, Edwin's such a wonderful, wonderful man.
oh
Good
yeah.
man. Cry.
Yeah, but about it, I wouldn't. One thing I learned from this trip, I would frontier spirit of my. I'm not going to temper with these flights anymore. Man,
Don't do it.
I missed my flight twice. I ended up flying on the 7 o'clock flight on Friday. I was sure I've been there 4 o'clock, and I
Don't.
got there because it told me and I got there on time though. They said, "Oh no!" By the time you get to the place, they security check. I said, "Come on, man, look." I'm done with that, man. I'm not gonna mess with the two flight except I'm really jammed. Yeah, but frontier or spirit, out of my mind. Right. And
Yeah, the thing. Look, I went to Atlanta the other time, and I don't know what got in my head to buy a cheap ticket with Frontier Airlines. We flew into Atlanta, coming back that Sunday. We got to the airport. In fact, we're even rushing from family and friends just to get to the airport to take that flight to come back. We got there by 5. The flight should have left at 7. 7 o'clock, it's not leaving. 8 o'clock, it's not leaving. 9 o'clock, they said, oh, the pilot just came to fly the plane. We went in the plane, we sat down. They said, no, you'll go out. And can you imagine? Up to 12 a.m. in the morning. That flight did not leave. We had to end up buying a new ticket by American Airlines, leaving like 5 a.m. in the morning, flying to Charlotte home. And as I speak, I have a voucher for Frontier that he gave me for a free ticket. I can't even give it to my son to use it. They're just sitting here and expired because I'm not going to fly with them no more. They're terrible to fly with. Very terrible plane, Frontier and Spirit. Yeah, very terrible.
The chief of Atlanta, but they're dangerous, man. Don't mess with them.
Yeah. So
yes, and about it, the politics in Liberia, man, is getting. I mean, I don't know what happened, but I know I talked to Senator Snow today, and hopefully he'll be making his first appearance on our show tomorrow. Hopefully.
Yeah.
And then also on the issue of the war crimes court. We have the former LACC boss, Council of Radio, Jerome James Brady. Next Wednesday, he'll be coming here too. I met him in Charlotte. We had a lot of discussion. He Ben and I, and because the whole thing about this war economic crimes court, people got to. Let me ask you guys. Ansu, you guys got the recording about PYJ, the interview.
Yes.
Yes. You should play. We should play. In a few. Cue it up so we can play a little.
Okay.
Yeah, but about it, look, everybody concerned what's happening in the country. We know what will happen. When you look on the left, Representative Koluba he's planning joining the guys for a protest. Look on the right. You got the war crimes court issue on the table now. The Senate finally signed the resolution. It's going to go to the president next. The next thing we'll hear from now will be the establishment of the court. In fact, I won't call his name, but there's a strong war crimes court advocate. He's president in the U.S. I think the State Department brought him here. I talked to him today, and he's president. In fact, he said hopefully tonight he'll get back to me. And the serious part about it, they are already put the U.S. government. Don't forget, as soon as the Senate signed a resolution yesterday, it appears like they were already waiting. The issue of statement right away.
Yeah.
And then the guys from Liberians are already in the country. They flew to the U.S. That they are putting things together. And I spoke to the guy one of the guy who is in the country, and he told me that they are indeed very serious, and it will be funded, and people should not take this for a joke. And so we'll see what happens.
I only wish that that took place in Liberia. The court be held in Liberia. I don't see the need. I heard the rumors that they were planning to take it to Ghana uh, 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 for it to be held. I don't think it will be a good thing to do. I think it must. The court must take place right in Liberia. I think it's very important that that war and economic crime court take place right in Liberia. That will bring in a lot of revenue to the government than rather wasting it on in another country. Why should we take it to Ghana? We capable. If we can establish it, why we can't host it? I think it should be hosted in Liberia. Liberia is capable. Liberia is free, it's safe. Liberia have a very good army that could provide protection, police as well. So I think it should take place in Liberia.
I'm sure. From all indications, I'm sure it will be in Liberia because look, it will provide a lot of opportunity for our country, economic and even employment. Because
Yeah.
you will need you will need um you will need forensic investigators. You will need psychologists, psychiatrists,
Mhm.
people to go and to gather evidence gathering. Is very important. Or
Yeah.
you're doing a war crimes court. It's very important.
Right.
People got to gather evidence, and you got to go to the counties that were people were affected.
Right.
People that got affected. You got to go to these counties and get evidence from there.
Yeah.
And so people will be, and what I'm confused about is the judges who will be if they establish the court, who will be the judges? Whether
Yeah.
it will be Liberians or foreigners, I don't know. And that's why we're bringing the legal people to come here to come explain to us. Hopefully,
Yeah.
next week we'll have the counselor will be here to talk to us about it more. And also, yeah. And then, but I know the prosecutors will be Liberian lawyers, I'm sure. The Liberian National Bar will play an important role, I'm very
Mm.
sure. We have
Right.
some very good, credible lawyers in the country that can do it. Uh,
Well, I think that'll be very important. Let them bring in some lawyers and others that will come in will be help. But one thing that was hell, I think we will talk about that. Senator Snow comment, that he made. But I think that should be put in charge independent. We need an independent group. I don't think Alan White is really there to bring justice to the Liberian people. I think it's all about financial gain, and he's just what he can get and how many millions of dollars he can make get out of it. I think the Liberian Senate should really push to have somebody who is more independent rather than him. You know.
well, in fact, as I said earlier, the guy I spoke to, who is in Washington D.C. now, the Liberian guy who is behind the War Crimes Court, he told me that he told me that Alan White is not part of whatever they are doing. He said he's not part of it. So I don't know. Maybe Alan White need to come and we need to ask him a question. Maybe perhaps
Mm-hmm.
what is his role? Because
Yeah.
some people felt that there was a person yesterday that Senator signed and so forth. But for me personally, I think some people got their own opinions about the war crimes establishment. But I think it's important that Liberian we get a closure to this.
Mm-hmm.
How we're affected. All got affected from this war. In fact, like I tell people, I had just entered college. I just entered college my first year, and then I got my first job working. I just go to school, go to school, work, and I go to school. At that time it was Zion Community College. We're up the hill in
Right.
Fukuoka.
Right.
We just started. So we just started life, my man. Look, we had just started life, young guys, started life. We used to go from work, go to school, and then the war came in 89. The war came in December 89, and then our whole life changed from there. We didn't enjoy I mean, later on after the war, we came back to go back to school, to college, and everybody,
Yeah.
but just coming from at a young age, coming from high school into college, you want to just all your dreams. You make sure I would finish in 4 years and then continue. But and at that time, we came, everything just got our whole life just got messed up. I mean, I
Yeah.
didn't I didn't live on refugee camp like you guys, but I visited the camp, and I know when I went to I was going for a conference We went for a conference in Ghana. I remember some conference of university students who got to Ghana and we visited the camp. And I saw that, man. I said, wow. I said, I don't think I can able to live here, man. I mean, I saw that. Look, war is not good, Peabody. War is not good.
No, it's not. It's
It
not.
brings I mean, it brings you down. People that
Yeah.
will live good lives. I saw them. I said, wow. So war is not good. That's why when I hear people talking in our country, I said we all gotta protect the peace and stability of our country because, like, when I heard it say, "Oh, they'll go arrest Yeke," I said, "Nobody can." Yeke say he's not going. He'll resist. Will you go use force on him? So that's why it's important that the government exercise maximum restraint and deal with the issues legally. Everything you want to do it through uh, the armpit of the law, and not don't take it in your own hands. That's why
Yeah.
the issue of asset recovery, people decide to do about it, want to use force and so forth. The Supreme Court to intervene.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's bad. Ultimately, you talk about the war, you talk about what's how everything. I was a young man as well, still just high school, and didn't really do a lot. Didn't have the opportunity growing up as a young college to be a young college student in Liberia to really. It didn't happen. I went to Ghana, spent most of my days in Ghana on that refugee camp. Talking about that refugee camp. I was just there, and I'm still talking to the very good guy them in studio, the Chief O'Neill. This Sunday, I want to host just a 1 hour 30-minute show on my most recent visit to the Liberian refugee camp in Ghana. So that I want to invite the refugee leader there to come on the show, so that we can talk about what's been done so far. I was there totally, and you think the time you went there it was bad. But I'm telling you, the most recent trip that I made 2 weeks ago, when you go there now and see babies and the mothers sleeping in an open field, sleeping in a chair outside in the street, if you see family that have been totally home, and when they tell you the story, like the war started with them again in Ghana because some of them went to school, some of them went to the hospital, some of them took their children to buy something on the street. When they came back, their home were completely demolished. And I want us to showcase a little bit of that this Sunday at around 2 o'clock. I'm still talking to Chief O'Neill and the guys in the studio, so that we just give it some, bring the guys on from the refugee camp. But we were there, and we spent thousands of dollars trying to get them food and water. It was very, very devastating when you see them and see people crying. Some kids were born there and say, I don't know anybody in Liberia. And then if I leave here and go to Liberia, it's a mess. But I have been able to showcase it. I met the vice president. I spoke with him on it. And he said he would make it a priority. He was going to talk to the president. I think Liberia just sent a delegation to Ghana to see what comes out of that and make them to come home. If they don't come home now, then it's left with them. But I mean, just what you were saying to me, that war was so bad. And that's why I always advocate that. Let at least somebody face the consequences of the behavior. You had a guy like butt naked who would burn thousands of people in the house and put gas and talk about it, coming from his own mouth. He burned people alive, and other people who committed heinous atrocity in that country. I think it's very important, very, very important, that some kind of closure counts so everybody can be. Some of the people never saw justice until they died. Some of the folks who should have even been persecuted, they already died, so they didn't face any consequences of their behavior. So I think it's sad. I think it's bad. I mean, so I think for now, let it be. But I mean, war is bad, bro. And as you said, we didn't enjoy our team life in Liberia. We never enjoyed nothing. We just saw the bad part. And people who were living in the 70s and 80s can tell you. I mean, I was small by that time, but they can tell you how much of a good life it was, how beautiful Liberia was, how people from everywhere in West Africa, other part of Africa, were running to Liberia, to do things. Everything was there. And look at it today. Look today, changes, fighting among ourselves continuously. It end up into hatred, just not loving each other. We just so much hate each other that we can't even develop our country. We don't even have that union where we can stand together for our country. We can't do it no more. Our country has become a complete a mess. So we need to do more for that. And I think it's important that our war economic crime for the country.
Yes, that's true though. In fact, before we continue, before I forget, today is a very important date in the world. The Muslim, our Muslim brothers and sisters,
Yes.
they the Ramadan is, they have been fasting for the whole month, and today is called Eid Mubarak. I want to wish all Muslim brothers and sisters around the world, especially our own dear friend and brother, the honorable representative Musa Hassan Bility. I want to wish all of them liability, our Muslims brothers and sisters that have been fasting. I want to wish them Eid Mubarak, a
Yeah.
blessed holiday. I want to say, look, I remember this day in Liberia. We look forward to this day. And
Yeah.
my neighbors we had in Paris to the neighbor was out the NJI. And once the day came, man, we know that we eat heavy that day. We eat a lot of food we eat that day. It's like a
Yeah.
Christmas.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I want to say, look, they have been praying for peace, praying for God's blessing, Allah blessing upon the universe. And on this day, we just want to salute them and join them in the celebration and wish them the best and thank them for praying for all of us
Yeah.
and for world peace.
Yeah.
Daddy, you want to talk about it? You want maybe send your message to them too?
Yeah, I like to wish them all the best. One of the interesting things that happened in our country, when it comes to religion, the Muslim and Christian are very much united in Liberia. We don't have what other part of the country, other part of the world, and our Muslim brothers and sisters, I hail you on this day, and wish you guys all the best as you celebrate. You talk about some of your neighbors. We used to have neighbors like that too. And then every time we look for the day, man, someone from Kipman, we look for some of the finest kisao we have ever eaten.
Yeah.
And those folks, they will put that together. I used to love see them dress, moving, in the evening, everybody, they're just a great celebration. And I'm glad that Liberian, we can be tolerant, to other religions, not just our own religion, but we can be tolerant to other religion. And I want to wish my Muslim brother Chimability, Musability, Lai and others, my friend Amara Kone, uh, 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 Abdullah Ketama, Hassan Kewu, and to all our Muslim brothers and sisters who want to wish happy Ed Mubarak Day. So, yeah.
Yes. Lofa, welcome, man. Yes, welcome, man. And our friend Sekou Kenner from SKTV on
Yeah,
also said,
Sickle as well. Yeah.
to Sekou. And my friend Maurice Kumar, all our Muslim, and my sister Fatima Salif on Spawn. Yeah. Also, and Abi Kumar, the ETA boss, all my Muslim brothers and sisters, wherever they are.
Fatika brothers, the Fatika brother too,
I
But
know,
we
I
Are they
should,
know,
Muslim?
I know
Are
what
they
it is.
Muslim?
I don't
Okay, your
know.
brother's Muslim?
No,
I
because
don't know.
I think so because I know that when I was growing up, when we were little boys, I remember these two boys are babies to me. They were in Dusa, they live in Firestone.
Okay.
In
Oh, they
Dusa,
live in Dusan.
yeah, they live in Dusa. The two boys, they're young guys, and they come close to me, young boys. They're in Dusa. They grew up in Firestone. The dad was a French teacher, I think. Yeah, in
Okay.
graduate
I
camp.
mean, yeah, I think my dad may have known the dad because my dad
Yeah,
was.
I mean, I know the whole family. I know, but the boys were young, so but I know the whole family good. Yeah, I know that dad. Their dad, he was a French teacher, I think, in
Oh,
Firestone.
somebody said they're Muslim.
Oh, really?
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know.
Yeah,
Okay.
somebody
Wish them.
just Ali Kamara said they're Muslim.
Well,
Okay.
tell me what's about your friend? We met in Liberia. What's his name? Amara Kamara. Is that him?
Oh,
Huh?
Amara. Oh, you talking about
Yeah.
him? Amara just sent me a message. Hey, my God. Yeah, Amara Kamara. Yeah, he married me though, but Amara, we were talking later.
Yeah, we wish them
Amara
more
Kamara.
Ali. More Ali is more Ali too. You know,
No,
but
no, no, Mo is not. Mo is not a
I
Muslim,
did
is
just
he?
lie. He lied in the court that time. He said he was. He said he was Muslim, right? Or he said in the court.
Nah, nah. Mo don't. He don't observe any religion. So I get because he said something in that direction. So don't give Mo Ali something that he can.
Yeah, but
I guess.
I give it up to my Muslim brothers and sisters, man, to go through that 1 month of fast and prayer. Even we who Christians, when some are fasting, it can be easy, man. But man,
yeah,
I've done it though, 6 to 6. One time I tried the 3 day dry fast, man. I said no. I think I tried that one anymore. What? Not to that. You eat nothing for 3 days, no food, nothing. Just pray and drink water. Nah, I said, nah.
yeah.
But you want to send your greetings to your Muslim brothers and sisters too?
Yeah, definitely. Good to be on here. I see Ansu and well, I saw them wearing the Muslim gown. I don't know as to whether if they're Muslim or they were fasting as well. But if you are, I want to wish you on Eid Mubarak. Happy Eid Mubarak. However it is said. I hope I'm not butchering it. But again, great to be on here. If you understand, they're part of my family who are also Muslim, and especially my uncle, my little uncle Joseph Soko Kane. Joseph Soko Kane, and those are the members of my family who celebrate the day today. I want to acknowledge and recognize all of you guys and every other Muslim out there. Those of you who are breaking your fast today, one of our religious followers on here, for I'm gonna get her name later, but I'm also gonna, I like to just acknowledge and appreciate them. Like I know you mentioned being able to fast. That's one thing I know I'm not able to do. I I attempted doing that at one point. Happy festival to almost okay. There you go. I guess that's the best way to say. Going. Yeah, happy festival to all of our Muslim brothers and sisters. It's great. And the fact that the level of religious tolerance that you guys highlighted in Liberia, Muslim and Christians can all celebrate together, and we can live together in unity. That's great. So for some of us who are not, we're not just able to do it. We're not able to fast. We can't do it. I guess it's not because we're lazy. It's just that we don't have that tolerance, and that makes a lot of you guys far better off to have gone through and continue to do it almost every time. Some of you were built for this, so yeah, I want to say, you know, happy festival to all of you. Continue to pray for Liberia so that we can maintain the peace and stability in our country. Pray for all of the young people who are people with visions, young leaders who want to come to serve the nation. We ask that you include all of them in your prayers. So yeah, to the entire Muslim community, I'm not gonna try to single people out because then I will get in trouble. So I will just generalize the appreciation to all of you guys, and say happy festival. Go ahead and continue to do what you're doing, and we appreciate you guys all for doing what you continue to do.
Yeah, let
Um,
everybody. Can you see Grace? You see her? You can bring her on. I know. I know. I can see. She's in your bag. I can see her.
she's not there. Um, yeah, you
Well,
guys are talking about the I guess you guys are talking about the war, the war crimes court news that hit Liberia today. Well, yesterday and today. That's a great news. I hope every Liberian is celebrating that news. It's a good news for all of us, even though it's just a resolution that does not in any way, shape, or form state that the war crimes court will be established tomorrow. It's a resolution. Look at it as a proposal. Um, Look at it as a proposal that is being made, and it have to be taken into consideration. Also, in that light, the couple things that I want to highlight here. I know I hear people who wants to kind of turn the tides when it comes to the implementation of the War and Economic Crimes Court in Liberia. People are attempting to tie Allen White to the establishment of the court because of his presence or because of his understanding and expertise. I want people to take into consideration that um, there is no way we can sit here and pretend as though this man this man does not have what it takes. All right, when we speak of the experience and the reason why folks will see him as that, that encyclopedia of understanding, that person who brings an idea to the table is because of his experience with the Sierra Leone situation that got Charles Taylor. So, in order to have a much more successful implementation, you will want to piggyback on how things were done in Sierra Leone, how successful it was, where were some of the bottlenecks, the stumbling blocks. All right, so you cannot ignore such a person to use. I know in Liberia we don't value experience. We rather just grab anything and everybody and just throw them everywhere. But in order to be successful at certain things that you do, you must value people with their experience. And this is the case of Allen White. He been there, he worked with it before. So you can't simply just jump over him and go grab anybody else. So in order to be much more successful at what is happening, you must use him and other people who have been a part of the process. And I think this is where he comes in to fill in the gap and help us to be successful at it. This is not about an Allen White and nobody else on there. This is about Liberia and Liberian achieving what they want.
Well, want to welcome to Grace, Calabo, and Keff. Yes, welcome. But I mean, just to comment on the issue of Adam White, that's completely out of our hands. That we left with the authorities who established this code,
Right.
and they will determine that. But don't forget to now, Adam White have been involved in our politics, so all coming to come there. So people, you're being involved in our politics. Don't forget, he was even Prince Johnson said he was one of those trying to make him to be VP to one of the candidates before. So we got to look all look into that. So we got to be careful when it comes to that issue. But again, as I said, it's in the hands of the legislature, in the hands of President Boyka. They will determine how they will go about doing everything. But Calabo, Grace, Calabo, Kev, you guys
Thank
welcome.
you so much.
Y'all want to
Thank you.
talk about it?
Thank you, Tomalin. If I can just make quick comment on that. You know, I listen.
Let Grace first. You know, talk about the Muslim Johnson.
Ladies first.
Greetings to our Muslim brothers and sisters.
The
And then,
fellow who lives in smell no taste.
Hello, everybody. It's good to be here, and I would like to thank you for welcoming me on the platform once more. I'd like to say hi to all the listeners, the listeners actually. And if you're on and you're listening, please try to share the video because I was in a group and people were looking for the closing argument, platform. So if you hear, share the video so other people can have the chance to be able to watch and listen to us talking. I would say also happy celebration to the our Muslim brothers and sisters around the world, especially the Liberians. Uh, we thank God for your fasting, and we hope that everything you pray for in this fasting season come to realization for you and your family. As far as the War and Economic Crimes Court, Tomalin always like to leave out the economic part of the whole crimes code, but the economics part is in it. So people who think that they have economic crimes and they're not going to be in that court, they will be in that court. Once your name came up, the people will investigate you and bring justice to Liberia. I don't want. I heard people trying to accuse Mr. White, and we Liberians we are very good at that. Quick to accuse people. Mr. White has an interest in Liberia. He has an interest in the country as a whole. A lot of Americans have interest in Liberia. I have interacted with some of them call me personally, and not Mr. Allen right now, but other like the Americans that have interest in Liberia and the benefit of the country. Allenway is one of them. So I don't think people should be accusing this man so quickly that maybe he wants to be a part of it because he wants to make money. Well, I don't understand what extra money that he wants to make. I think people are trying to run away from the fact, especially the people who were involved in, all the wars and economic crimes. They want to run away from the fact, and we Liberians, we always like to blame other people for our problems. We always like to blame people. Oh yeah, that the person the cause of this, and they want to bring this because of this. But I don't think there's any kickbacks when it comes to the War Economic Crime School as far as Alan White. I don't think he needs to do that because he's not. I don't know him, but I don't think he needs to do that. To tell you the truth. So I would not sit here and want to accuse him and saying they want to benefit from it. I think they want to see Liberia be a better place. And I think they want to see Liberians get justice. As Dr. Peabody has said, so many people are suffering in Ghana today on the camp because of this same war. And we don't want to sweep this under the rug any longer as we usually do everything, sweep it under the rug, and we can't say the truth to one another. That's why it has destroyed our country so bad. And we have reached a stage that this thing has to come to an end. We have to hold people accountable, and justice has to be served, and people have to pay for their crimes, that they committed. So our future generation of children will see that these things don't go, unnoticed. That if you do anything wrong, your day will come and you will face your time in court and you will pay dearly for what you did. So even in the Bible days, people got to know Christ. They were not serving him, and later on they got to know him, and they thought that all the evil they did to other people were going to go free. And God said, no. Although you came to know me, but the time you were doing this thing, you have to pay for it. And that's what we want in the war and economics crimes, so Liberians can move forward and people can get justice. It's so sad to see the people in Ghana suffer. We were all part of that before we went on that camp. And I am so proud of Dr. Peabody for what the work that he does in Ghana and he's doing, in Liberia, helping the Liberian people, a more bigger scale. And what he did in Ghana recently was very, very helpful to those people. And I will be looking forward to his show on Sunday. I hope the people agree in the studio so we can bring this kind of information to the Liberian people. These are the people that need help. These are your brothers and sisters that actually need help, that you have to reach out to help them. So, and all these things, it goes down to the War and Economics Crimes Court. Because if that court was set in Liberia and everything was solved, maybe some of these people will feel the need to go home. We all lost family members. It's not everybody who brave, who got the backbone and say, you know what, with everything I went through in the war, will go home. Some people don't have that strength. The people were not counseled. There was no counseling for them, no rehabilitation of the minds to prepare them to want to go back home. So our people are suffering like that. We need to put our hands around it. Thank you.
Kev, please, before Kelabo coming, Kev, please, because I know the last time the guys, the studio guys, them on our back for the time. So even if I go 2 minutes, please call me or I beg you. That was so we all can talk a lot tonight. Kelabo.
All right. Yes. Here is what I would say. Thank you. Happy to be back again. I know I missed Monday's show, and I missed, I think, last week Friday's show as well. So, but it's gonna be like that on and off. Based on a hustle here in the US. So but I'm happy to be back as always. Closing place is a home. I feel pleased here, and so I'm happy to be here. But on the question of the Dr. Adam White involvement and vis-a-vis Ellen Snow's own reaction, here what I will say. I think Ellen Snow was just finding a false front to say something. What he was expressing was not a spirit of nationalism. It was not a patriotic thing. This is a guy who didn't find any reason to oppose Charles Taylor when he was committing all of the mayhem. This is a guy who had no reason to show me one thing, one issue affecting ordinary people in Liberia that Aaron Snow has stood up for, other than what he personally benefit from. Just show it to me. You can point to one. Okay? This is a man who have apologized for his role in the APN terminal agreement, which is contributing to high prices of goods, commodities, imported commodities on the Liberian market. He still serves in the legislature. So for me, he's just grandstanding. He's just trying to buy sympathy. I feel so ashamed when I hear very smart, very educated people say, yes, no. That's nonsense. Nonsense. Snow said nothing. Snow said nothing that benefit from Liberia. Snow is all about his personal benefits. The Senate is for public theater. It's open to both foreigners and Liberians. What the Senate should be ashamed of is they did not complain. The last time Darius DeLong has to cancel a confirmation hearing because he said people who are not supposed to be in the Senate's chamber were there, and these were Liberians. He canceled it. He said they're not supposed to be here. But Dr. Allen White and another white lady, I don't know, I believe that's American embassy staff, they were there. Why if they mean well, why Snow did not even offer a motion? Because he's speaking a lot behind. He saw Dr. Allen White. Even at that point, he said, I will refuse to speak now. I'm making a motion to postpone the session until the unwanted people leave the chamber. Why he didn't do that? He could not do that because he does not have the conviction. He does not have the courage. He has never had. Snow have always had courage for what benefits him personally, not what benefits the country. We can go into Snow record. So I feel ashamed when people do this. So yeah,
you got 2 minutes.
Yeah, okay, sorry. Here is what I was saying on Dr. Allen White. Dr. Allen White, for the public, he is a registered lobbyist in Liberia. He's a registered lobbyist in the United States. So in terms of the World Chronicle, I'm convinced, not 100%, but convinced you will have no role to play, maybe like a prosecution or a judge or nothing. No. His role was to just do what he did. He's a lobbyist, period.
Right.
Nobody will take a lobbyist who will take money from other people to make him a judge or a prosecutor, because then you commercialize in the process.
I strongly believe that he shouldn't. I strongly believe that he shouldn't have been there. I think should have given. Did the president convince Liberian to the folks to vote the way they make certain decisions? Were they in favor or not in favor? I think it should have been something that the Liberian Senate should have voted for, by inviting somebody to come and stand over, like he's watching if you don't do it. Because a lot of people in our Senate know that Allen White is responsible for sanction on most of the government, the people of Liberia. I think, he should have been there. And I think that Allen White, that war on economic crime, it's a great thing, but I believe that it's more of a financial gain in some way. He would gain from it because he's a lobbyist and he lobbies for those kind of things. He would definitely gain from it financially, but it's very important as well that those who committed heinous atrocity in Liberia be brought to justice. It's important, and I think I applaud the Senate for voting, and I hope President Barker will do the right thing. But I believe that should be held in Liberia. That whole World Court hearing should be held in Liberia. I don't think it should be taken to another country. I think Liberia is capable of if they can vote for it, if they can welcome it, I think they are capable of prosecuting those who committed a crime.
I have a question for you, Mr. Peabody.
Can I come in now too?
No, I just want to ask you a quick question.
Wait. Let's organize this thing now.
Session, right?
No, I don't think so. It was I don't think so. So we
okay. So let me
Go ahead with your question. Go ahead with your
You
question.
Kev, my question to you, Kev, now is you said you didn't think it was an open process session, but my thing is when they were counting the ballots during the election, people went to watch it. It was open, so he had a right to be there. He wanted to be there.
Okay, let me say this.
For me, go ahead.
Let me say this. Right. I believe that's the issue we have in Liberia. As opposed to other country who coming from that mindset. Otherwise, a lobbyist. Then you should ask yourself, what lobbyists, what they do? You take a lobbyist to sit down and watch your proceeding, or watch the Senate. They take a lobbyist. You do that in America here. You go to Congress and just sit down and let the lobbyists watch. And it's a shame to see Liberia still having that mentality. And see folks are saying, oh, Edwin Snow should not say, Edwin Snow should not. It's a shame. You guys realize that Alan White had contacted Queen Johnson and Mr. Ure way back then to run? You think Alan White there for your interest? Mr. Gonglo, I expect you to know more of those things than praising Alan White. You think Alan White there for your interest? You think Alan White there because he want to say that he like you? He's a registered lobbyist. That money business that he caught, that's what the lobbyists do. If Alan White was a human rights activist, it's a different thing. Then you say, yes. But the man is a lobbyist, my goodness. And you say a lobbyist should sit down and watch what's going on there, and you say it's okay? Then you don't know what lobbyist is, then. That's what they do. He registered that. So I think it's a slavery mentality. And I think we should free ourselves from that kind of mentality. For Alan White to fly and Council to be in that in that front row, in that chambers to show that when I say front row, I'm not mean in the chamber itself, but where visitors sit down in that front row to show, to kind of intimidate folks, because he is on record of sanctioning. This is a man who went to the Congress and lobbied and saying that the children, the tip there, the children that had the accident in Bon County, on the way to Bon County during the election, George Weah were using that for ritualistic purpose. Yes, we want the war crime. We want it.
Do you have evidence for that? Yeah.
Let's go on YouTube and put it there, my brother. It's there. It's clean. It's there. It's there. Go on YouTube. You can look for it yourself. I don't even need to give it to you. Just put it there. You'll see him. And a few Congress people were crisping or trying it. He said it. Then you see one thing in Liberia, one thing we do best in Liberia, right? That we just judge. We don't do research to show who this person is. This is a man who and Chris Smith organized with Madam Ellen for Taylor to be in The Hague today, and it was on business thing that Obasanjo was stopped for coming to New York. He does that. That's what Alan White. It doesn't mean that we don't want the war crime code, but that's who Alan White is. So try and know who this man is. Try and know that, and listen to his testimony, and do your own assessment. And they come from an informed position on Alan White. Don't just say because you don't like this person, you don't want the person, so now everybody can go. And let me address something quick. The resolution is not a proposal. It's a resolution that automatically will become a law.
What makes
Once the president once the president signed it, it was already proposed. The president proposed that, right? And the Senate votes on it, and they sign it, and it's going to go back to the lower house probably tomorrow, do the final details, and the president going to sign it.
Okay, so let me respond. Let me respond a couple of things. Since we're in the I-10,
but let's go to
let me respond. I thought we're in the I-10. Keff Hassan, I thought we're in the I-10 here. Yeah, well, let me respond. We were in the I-10. Let me just respond. I thought we were. Well, let me ask a question. We were in the I-10, right? You made a statement regarding. Yes, isn't that why Grace posed the question?
No,
you made several statements that are just vague. I think you need to be helped in that regard.
After all, make comment. Rather speak.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You don't have to mention my name, Kev. I will just address some of the vague statement you made. You're talking about an open session, and you're talking about invitation. Have you not followed open sessions in the United States? Have you not followed open sessions around the world? But let me let Robert to go ahead now. Let
me start off to where Lofa just mentioned, though. Are foreigners of any level allowed in any U.S. open sections in the United States?
You are it is open. So it is open to you.
Okay, so I asked that question.
It is at your discretion.
Yes.
Yes, it is open to the public.
No,
matter of fact, it gets televised. So that means foreigners.
Listen. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Okay, let me get my time. Let me get my time. Let me get my time back. That's absolutely not true. That is factual. Let me explain, please. I asked the question. You gave your opinion. Now let me have my time back. That's not true.
You got my view.
No, yeah, that's your opinion. Your view is your opinion as well. So
what do you
that's
mean
not
by
true.
foreigner, though? Go ahead.
I mean, this is what I mean by foreigner. Can a person who is not a permanent resident, who does not live in the U.S., who does not have any investment in the U.S., who does not have anything of visitor, can any Liberian citizen who has a visa, who was given a visa by a United States government, enters the country and walk into a U.S. Senate open section? That's not what the open section intends when it says it's open to the public. Let me no. 1 second. Sir, I'm not arguing with you. This is my turn. Am I protected? Am I protected?
Guys, one at a time, though. It gotta be one at a time.
I'm not debating. This is my turn. Wait your turn and you respond. I didn't ask a question. I asked a question. You responded. I'm not asking a question no more. I'm responding now. No. I'm responding. No, don't tell me to calm down. I'm responding. This is my time to talk. No, don't tell me to calm down. You keep quiet and let my turn.
You need to
keep quiet and let my turn. Keep quiet so don't interrupt me. You're not going to do this.
No, you can't.
Lofa. This is my turn. No, you can't interrupt me. You can respond when your turn comes.
calm down, Grace. You can't.
Don't tell me to calm down. You keep quiet. Let me
Tell a
speak.
great man to calm down.
Yeah,
When your
Robert.
turn comes to speak, you speak.
I
So
don't
you
think
calm down. You
So
keep
who you
quiet.
telling to keep quiet? You don't
No,
have respect
whoever's
for-
speaking needs to keep quiet.
Wow, so why you telling
Whoever
us to keep
interrupting
quiet?
needs to keep quiet. It's
Decent,
disrespectful
when you
and
having a decent
unprofessional
conversation,
for you
tell
to
people
constantly
keep
interrupt
quiet.
other people while they speak.
You don't.
That's not
Or you
professionalism.
know who
All right,
are
let's
you?
do it one at a time.
Start of your show.
So you guys keep quiet. Let me speak. I mean, this is disrespectful, man. I asked an open question. You responded. Now it's my turn. We're not having a debate yet. Wait your turn and you can respond. Don't
Oh,
interrupt me.
Yeah, protector, go ahead.
So as I was saying, this open section thing has qualifications. It's not open to just anyone, any jack and whatever can just come from any country and walk into a U.S. open section. I want you to show me a single example when that has ever happened, and let's make a donation to a charity of your choice. This is not what open section means. Allen White does not have any investment in Liberia. Allen White is not a Liberian citizen. Allen White is not given the authority, or he does not share the benefit of Liberian or those who invest in Liberia to walk into a Senate or a Senate section or anything of that sort. This is the issue here. And by the way, let me be very clear. I do not support people like Snow. I have my issue with his statement, and I will get there. But this whole idea about us basically just letting anything flow in Liberia must stop. Liberia is a sovereign nation. Liberia is guarded by laws and order. I bet you this. Not any you cannot just leave Liberia or Ghana with a U.S. visa and walk to Capitol Hill and say you're going to go be part of a U.S. open section. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. So what gave Allen White, or any foreigner for that matter, a white man for that matter, by the way, a white man, but for that matter, to walk into a Senate section, have a front row seat there, when regular Liberians on some levels would not even be allowed to pass certain lines at the Capitol Hill, at the Capitol building. This is completely ridiculous. And we sit here and support that because we support a cause. Let me say this. Allen White is not a justice seeker. Allen White is an opportunist. This is what he's always been. We want law and economic crimes court. We don't need Allen White to advocate and enforce law and economic crimes court in our country. He does not seek the best interest of Liberians. He has never sought the best interest of Liberians. So let's not sit here and put him on his pedestal as if Allen White has been an advocate for justice across the region. He has not. He's a paid propagandist. He's a paid surrogate. He's about his own interests, and this is what he does best. Now let me get to Edward Snow. Edward Snow, what I heard yesterday, is a man, from my perspective, who basically attempted in a very passionate way to shift blame here. And he should be ashamed of himself. It is not the U.S. responsibility for the failed state that is Liberia. The backwardness that is Liberia today is not a result of these United States of America. Let's look at the budget. When last have the legislature, when last have our elected officials prioritized infrastructure development? When last have they invested in education reform? When last have they invested in healthcare reform? When last have they invested in buildings of roads and investing in the lives of the poor folks? Look at the damn budget. Look at the budget. What is in the budget for infrastructure development? He talked about the roads. He talked about the legislature. He indirectly impersonated himself and basically shamed the entire legislature. You talk about people not having the ability to clean dead bodies buried behind the Capitol Hill for all of these years. Who is supposed to clean dead bodies? Are you waiting for Allen White to clean dead bodies? Are you waiting for U.S. budgetary support to go back there and clean dead bodies? You operate from a building where you got dead bodies and skeletons in your backyard, and you probably sit and give a speech as if the U.S. government should be responsible to do that too? Look at the education budget. Lawmakers are taking home thousands of dollars. At the same time, budgeting almost $2 million to buy cars for themselves, while schools across the country lack libraries. Is that the U.S. government fault too? I wish he had the passion. I wish he had the stamina. I wish he had what it took to have taken responsibility for the failed state that is Liberia today. Lawmakers are clothed with the responsibility and the authority to craft laws and policies that ensures development in our country. Have they done that effectively? Have they put the interest of Liberia first, or have they prioritized their pockets? So yes, I concur.
So
the U.S. have not reciprocated. The U.S. have not reciprocated that respect and support at a certain level. I concur with that. But we have allowed them. One last thing I want to say on this, and I will let other guys come in. When foreigners come into the country and exploit the country, and we allow them to do it, and lawmakers have oversight power, are you blaming the U.S. government for that too? Let's stop this. Edward Snow and others should take responsibility for what they have allowed in our country, and they should also urge themselves to do better by their people and by their country. That's what they should do.
Okay, let me make. I come in. People watching our show, and I just want to make this to provide this understanding. The Senate and the House galleries are open to visitors whenever either body is in session. In addition, the House gallery is open from 9 to 4:30 Monday to Friday. When House is not in session, passes are required to enter the gallery. So, in other words, they're saying, according to this information I'm getting here, when you have a session, it's open to anybody, and you can come and watch the session, except where they have an executive session or special session where it's not open to the public. So they are providing information that the Senate.
Wait. Let me see this. In Liberia,
in Liberia.
We're going around one at a time.
Where we arguing that you cannot walk into the U.S. Capitol and say, "I'm coming to session."
Well,
without showing proper a visitor. You have to.
But Keff, let me link with that.
You don't just walk to the U.S. Capitol. That's what I'm saying. Liberia can do it. Liberia can do it.
Yeah,
Robert are saying you don't walk to U.S. Capitol.
One at a time now.
Yeah, but for my 2 minutes finish, because I work in the time. But yes, get it clear now. No one can tell me that. I mean, in that much, I'm not a fan of Alan White, but no one can tell me that he just got out yesterday when there were all people being unaware he was coming.
Are you fighting him?
Yeah. So, but I don't think he has the ability to influence our war crimes code. That I can tell you. I'm sure they will work out the details of the code. But I think in the U.S. Congress and in Liberia, yeah, people can go to free session and watch the session. It's a public building, But anyway, next one.
That can't come.
Kev.
Okay, we want 2 minutes time.
Kev on his idea. Whenever people try to even differ over him, he wants to make it like that is a fact. It's a single no. It's not like that.
You disagree with me now.
You don't have monopoly over the truth. Okay. I will agree with what Robert said. He's partially correct. But there are other facts too. The U.S. Congress, they know what is a sitting capacity in the Congress for visitors. So when they're having public section, they do require a reservation. You don't just walk there. I don't think I can even just leave the state of Pennsylvania.
Wait. I feel like what we're saying.
And say,
making my case.
To go. Why if 1 million United States citizens decide to do that? There will be no space. So I think that they have a problem. Unlike us,
making my case. Thank
if
you.
you go in the house, I've been there many times. You just stand. If you shot like me, you can't even see when you stand on the bike. So you just stand. That's what I've been there many times. There's no sitting capacity. You're not going to sit. We're standing, Robert. We're standing. We're not standing in chair. So they don't even know how many space they have there. Okay, that's one. But there are instances where the United States government bring in foreign visitors, even in the U.S. Congress, because they are interested in them on something.
I wait my turn. I'm not going to interrupt.
In this case, and my question is, Robert and Kev, we cannot make our show about the failed attempt, to quote Robert in this case, the failed attempt by Edwin Snow yesterday, Senator Snow, diverge himself of his responsibility. That does not make the show about U.S. Congress and Liberia Congress, visitor and other. No, we having a show on the most serious national issues. Let's go to that. Liberia, in scale of thing, is nothing near the United States in terms of organization and what have you. So let's focus on the real issue. Robert and Kev, I beg you guys. And I don't even want to go further because Robert said he hit the right notes for me, in my view, when he spoke on Ellen Snow field attempt yesterday. In fact, the part I even forgot was the Carrington issue was a shame on the country, was a shame on Ellen government, or shame on Unity Party, or shame on CDC. That today, because Ellen Snow said, as he was speaking yesterday, the Carringtons were still there. It's a shame on it. It's a national disgrace. And this man had the audacity. He at the ECOWAS Parliament, I'm sure his colleagues were asking when you go there a few weeks from now. They said, oh, so in the Parliament they say he wants Carrington in Liberia. The man brought a public disgrace on the country. And people are there applauding him. That's what made Liberia a shameful country.
So no,
listen.
He says things that nobody brave to say.
Yeah, let me say this. Let me say this. I applaud the World Economic Council. I think it's overdue. It should have taken place a long time. But seeing Alan White sitting back there, it was like a slave master sitting in the back and
thank you.
The slave then to do what it needed to do. That's how I felt. With a slave master standing in the back.
Exactly.
And everybody's so nervous and doing
Let us not make our show about Adam White. Let's go ahead and move.
Can I chime in now?
Why I don't like other people's view? This is wrong.
Exactly.
That's how I feel.
Chime in now?
The slave master sitting in the back and everybody's scared and stuff like that.
Thank you, Peabody. Thank you.
So Dr. Peabody, can I chime in now?
Bobby, go ahead and talk, man.
Yeah. It's not how loud or arrogant we attempt to make our case makes it factual. Sometimes take some time off and just do a little bit of
Lofa, let me stop.
No, let him speak. No, let him speak. Let him speak.
I did not call anybody arrogant.
Lofa, be a man and call names. Be a man and call names. Lofa, throw some balls. Throw some balls and call names, Lofa. Don't be afraid. Throw some balls and say, Robert, don't be arrogant. Don't speak to your mouth. Speak directly. I'm right here.
Your name.
You sound afraid right now to say it.
Let me repeat.
You sound afraid to say it.
I reiterate. It is not how arrogant or loud you sound that makes your point factual. Is that understood? Now,
Lofa, go ahead. No one want to understand it.
Let me help you here understand something. Okay? You agree that the session was an open session. Alan White did not simply walk from anywhere and walk in without anybody being consulted. There are process and procedures to having access to that place. If he followed it, then it was up to those who are capacitated to control it. Just like Kolibo rightfully said, if you want to be a part of the open session, okay, the U.S. open session, once you have submitted your request and there's room for you to come in and participate, it's on you. Okay, this is not where we can make it seem as though, look, Alan White just walked or he flew from the United States, went and sat there with a whip in his hands and said, you guys must do this. Why is it that Snow and other people, you know how long Snow been out there? You know how long Liberian been asking for the establishment of the War and Economic Crimes Court? Why didn't he, Snow, and other people advocate for the establishment of the War and Economic Crimes Court? 12 years with Madam Sharif and other people. Now, President, we are 6 years. You don't think Liberian deserves better than that? Yes, they do. And I say this again. If you feel for some reason his presence at the Senate was something that you didn't like, maybe you should call on your lawbreakers, whom you refer to as lawmakers, to do something other than what they did, to play with the people, because they understand the gullibility of our society. So they behave as though they are in the interest of Liberians when they're really not in the interest of Liberians. That's what we should do. As compared to shifting blames, we want to continuously shift blames and make it seem as though it is not our responsibility. And I told
Tomalin.
if I have to
please let me
let me come in. I've been watching for a while.
Thank you.
All right. So
give me 30 seconds to respond after Larry.
So one thing. All right. So that put it all in perspective. Liberians as a whole, we do need the War and Economic Crime Court. That one is a given. We should have done this a long time ago. We've been relying on foreign countries to prosecute people who committed atrocities in Liberia, whether it was Chucky Taylor or the people we see being prosecuted in Europe. But let's put a couple of things in perspective. Keff is right on one thing, right? Alan White and Jeffrey Burrell, the BW Global Group, they run a lobbying firm. They have been lobbying extensively. Look, I can share my screen and show you the entire Department of Justice, all of their registrations going back to when, and you can see how much money they've been getting paid. I can share my screen right now and show it to you.
Millions of dollars.
This is stuff that I do every day. They have been lobbying extensively, and getting paid. The whole Liberian Renaissance group, the Liberian Renaissance group that they have in there, remember, they ran an in-depth lobbying campaign supporting certain presidential candidates and going against others. We shouldn't have lobbyists influencing the War and Economic Crime Court because they're seeking their self-interest. They're not seeking the interest and justice of the Liberian people. Because Alan White served as one of the chief investigators for the court in Sierra Leone, right? If you go and you read the documents on the outcome of the entire Sierra Leone process, you will come to see that for the most part, it was a money-making thing for a few people. It didn't bring a lot of justice to the entire people. There were other countries that were very successful in getting war crimes court settled within the country and bringing people to book. The reason why you need to get this done is because you need to set an example to stop future actors from doing the same thing. You need to set that example. Otherwise, you'll be in the same situation like places like Haiti. Haiti, I believe, in the out west, I think there's been more coup d'etat in Haiti than anywhere else. And now you even have gangs leaving the overthrow of a government in Haiti because you don't have a judicial system to prosecute people for atrocities. When people commit war crimes or crimes against humanity, that means they perform a lot of atrocities to the general public that wasn't even involved in the war. We need to get that done in Liberia. But it shouldn't be driven by a couple of Washington lobbyists. Having Washington lobbyists sit at any one of your hearings, they're not only there to influence it, but they're also there to profit off of it. And we don't need people profiting off the war crimes court. I just want to put that out there. So, you can agree, we can agree to disagree. But I'm just telling you because I've been looking at the FARA registration, the Foreign Agents Registration Act. All of the registration, I can give you Alan White's registration number. You can go pop it in and you can see all of the registrations, all of the monies he's getting paid, all of the things. He cannot say one thing in the public and file a supplemental form to the Department of Justice. He would get in trouble. So let's take Alan White off the table, go to what my brother Kelabu Congo said. We shouldn't make him the focus. We should focus on bringing justice to people who suffer atrocities during the war. Let's kind of focus on that. Let's get off this lobbyists trying to influence our politics. So Kev was right. These two guys, BW, Burrell, and White, they're lobbyists. They shouldn't be sitting at these hearings. Just wanted to put some of the facts out.
Okay, great.
After Grace, can I respond? Can you give me 30 seconds?
That was exactly what I said. That he's a registered lobbyist in Liberia and in Washington.
So he shouldn't be there.
Who is he lobbying?
Can Grace come in now, guys? Let Grace speak. Grace
Grace protected now.
Yeah.
So I wanted to say that this platform is a very intellectual and have a lot of intelligent people here. So I think when we come here to speak to one another, we should try to respect one another when we speak. And that's the reason why I came here on this platform, because a lot of other platforms invited me before. I don't go there because the people actually are rude. And they have a saying on, especially like men don't know how to talk and the way they treat other people, especially women. So I would not appreciate being here and people telling me to shut up. So Robert, I just wanted to say that to you. I have nothing against you. If I said anything to you that offended you, I'm sorry, but I would not want you to tell me to shut up. I'm a formerly married woman with 3 children under my belly. My husband would never, in his word, tell me to shut up. Never. He never told me for the 16 years I have known him. So I would not like another man to tell me that. I just wanted to put that all in the air. You guys are my brothers. I love you guys. If I say anything, it doesn't sit well with you, just tell me it doesn't sit well with me. As Lofa was saying, we can talk here and disagree. We don't have to be, so upset with each other. Now it goes back to what I wanted to say with Alan White. We're making him too. We put him out there, and it's not. That's not the focus. The focus is that because Liberians are not able to do things for themselves, so all the time these people insert themselves into our politics. But even in here in America, I wanted to state that here in the States, people do go to the Senate sessions and stuff like that. You just have to make sure you register. You can be in the visitor lodge. You will have they will put your information down, and you are free to go in and listen to anything that they are doing. It's your right as a visitor in America. It's also your right as a resident. And it's your right as a United States citizen. So I think Allen White being in that session was not a crime. They allow him to be there. That's why he was there. It goes back to the drawing board that Liberians need to learn to do the right thing, and then we won't have these people bashing down on us when it comes to us making decisions for our country. And I know most people, the reason why I know most people don't like Alan White is all because of this sanction thing. Although he's a lobbyist, yeah, all the president and pay lobbyists, and George Weah did that. Yeah, Bakari Sellers, I mean, we had to write him and everything, not to lobby for George Weah government because we
I
felt
would
that the
also
government was on
salute
the
pay
right
the
track.
most
So
others
all
of
the countries, all the presidents do that, but Allen White being there was not anything. It was not a big deal. I mean, he was there. Whether he making some decision within that process, we don't know because we know that the Senate is equipped enough to be able to make the right decision when it comes to our country. So we don't have to even be fighting over why Allen White was there. He had a right to be there. He was in the country. I'm sure he got a pass to be there and do what he had to do. So I just wanted to say that. I won't talk long. Thank you very much.
Can I respond, please? 30 seconds. I think Grace said something important. Let me just be very clear. There are lots of people that have tremendous respect for me, and a lot of people come on here to listen to substantive issues, to let us discuss the issues. And so, to Grace's point, this is an intellectual platform, and part of intellectualism when we're having a discourse is that we don't constantly interrupt each other. And Grace, I wasn't particularly talking to you. I was addressing Lofa Julius directly. When I ask a question, you respond to a question, then you respect my time. Everyone has a time. You have got to respect people's time and people's view. I'm not debating with Lofa Julius. Lofa Julius will have his time to speak like he did. And at your time, you can respond to whoever didn't say what you didn't like. But the constant interruption when people are speaking, it's not respectful, it's not intellectualism, and it's something that we cannot condone on this platform. And what I said to Lofa was keep quiet. I didn't say shut up. I would never do that. And so if that came off disrespectful, I certainly apologize. And I certainly apologize to those who are listening to me. I come on this platform to give my input in a very respectful and in a very intellectual way. And this is how I am used to having conversations. But I want to address Lofa directly. When you interrupt, you talked about being loud. Whether I'm loud or not, I'm sure that I can articulate myself very, very well. And on my worst days, my articulation will make sense and more sense than whoever. So I want to be clear with that. I don't have to be loud to get my point across. I don't have to be loud to get my point across. But I think as a panelist on this platform, I would encourage you, my brother, respect other people's time and stop the interruption. You will have your turn to speak, and when your turn comes to speak, you will be given that same time respectfully, uninterrupted. The point that I'm making is very simple. I think Kelabu said something very smart. In instances, visitors are allowed. But this slave mentality, we must stop. We are talking about war crimes court. And when we are talking about war crimes court, do you know who I would expect to be at the front during the Senate hearing? I would expect Liberians whose families were murdered to be at the front while they're listening to their senators make the argument for war crimes court. I would expect the old man in Trade Town to come to the Senate floor and be given the courtesy like Allen White was given that today, and the respect to be heard. Allen White does not have any scarf on him. His families were not affected. Why is Allen White dead? What symbol does that present today? Allen White should not be anywhere near our discussions when it comes to war and economic crimes court. The people who were affected by this war are those who should feel that cry today, not Allen White. This is the point that we're making. And by the way, I said the last time, Allen White has never had Liberia's interest here at full. He has never exhibited anything of sort. He does not have the track record of being a man who truly wants justice and peace in Liberia or anywhere else for that matter. We want war and economic crimes court. We want those folks who committed those crimes, hideous crimes in our country, they must have that day in court. But we must be very clear. We are not afraid of no white man. We are not afraid of no system. We're not afraid of anyone. Liberia is a sovereign country, and it was on this basis that I concur with Senator Snow. I think he stood up, and he stood up for all the right reasons. Because Allen White showed up to shock fears in those lawmakers. They should vote for war and economic crimes court because they believe it is the right thing to do, and it is in the interest of Liberians. Not because when they turn left and turn right, they see a white man in Allen White who have made millions of dollars to benefit himself and his organization to fear them on sanction list. Liberia must do better. And I will tell you this for once. I am not with this white slave mentality. If Liberia must be fixed and rescued, it will be on the backs and on the brains of Liberian citizens and not on Allen White, a man who has made millions of dollars, who lives in some uppity, nice community in the U.S., who have not gone through the pains of Liberians for all of these years. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that. So he does not have to be part of this discussion. This discussion is Liberia's discussion. If the United States and the international community wants to give us the support that we need to hold these folks accountable, we are open arms for that. But he should not have a face in this matter. Let the people who went through the pain, let the people who went through the suffering, let those people have faces at the Senate hearing when we're talking about these things. Not Allen White, the opportunist, not Allen White, the guy who has done nothing in his life to ensure peace and stability came to Liberia. That's the point that we're making. Thank you.
Wow, Robert got what you
Robert, the issue is, it is your senator, it is Darius Dillon, it is Yomli Kanga. They refuse to make a visitor list and say, we are making an important decision today. We want Chief Zanza Chief Zanza Zangwa Kawa. We want him sitting here. We want the Lutheran Massacre, the Massacre Survivor Organization. We want the president here. We want civil society organization here. We want the National Bar Association of first drafted the law, the war crime bill. We want the bar invited. They didn't invite organization, institutions that have been lobbying for this. They chose to invite Yom or Allen White. So it's a shame on your senator. In this United States, black people, unfortunately, will always have the mentality. White people don't put a gun in the black community in the U.S. Black people willing to go to gun show, and buy dangerous weapons and keep in their home. When they start killing each other, then they say, oh, the white man. So, I mean, I get what the point you're making, but if we're doing the right thing, probably Allen White will have no lobbyist friend registering in Liberia. We've been dealing with this thing since the 90s. Liberia has never made a decision. People, others have been making millions of dollars out of us. Who creating our leader?
You have a 30 second.
Sorry.
Chairman can come in.
Kamali, are you going to allow me to respond to Robert? Because
No, we're not doing no more response.
I mean,
Ben Sanvee show up.
I don't know watching the show you guys do here right now. You're watching the show, so
You guys.
Yeah, tell them to replay the tape. Tell them to replay the tape and get out of Liberian prison.
But Chairman, come on, we ain't Chairman.
And it's so hot today. You know, I don't want to sit in the back.
What you guys about?
And just listen. I see Robert is on fire.
And then Professor Kennedy now get a lot of weapons.
And not easy. No, but listen, in all fairness, I think today, when did they do this walk around now? Yesterday, right? Yesterday was an important day for Liberia. I still think there's still a lot of symbolism around what has happened. I'm still waiting to see the action of the president. I'm waiting to see him take the bold step, because all of what happened yesterday didn't need to happen for war crimes court to come to Liberia, to be quite honest with you. President Koo has simply written a letter to the United Nations. I agree. I think he wanted to pivot. He wanted to give it to the people's representative. So it appears like the people are part of this. Since we cannot have a referendum. So by the legislator doing what they're doing, it has some validity and some legitimacy, because the people's representatives has passed this resolution. Now, I want to commend the speaker and the pro tem for the leadership on the issue. On the issue of Alan White, I think I understand and I agree with where Robert is coming from. I listened to Senator Snow, but I also want to agree with Kelabo, because, you know, I've always said the issue of optics matters, right? Something of this important. Who's that? No, my son yelling. Sorry. What are you talking to people? Sorry, I'm trying to make sure I don't know about it. But I've always said one of the things that we need to do is to start doing things in a way that elevate our country. We have to start elevating our country. I understand, yes, at the Liberian Senate, at the National Legislature, once it's an open session, it is open gallery for anybody to go in there. I think it's almost like a first come, first serve. You get there, you get a chair, you sit down, and you watch you monitor the proceedings. But yesterday, that particular proceeding was not just any ordinary proceeding. I think that is the point a lot of people are making. That proceeding, that session was not just an ordinary session. That session was a session that was happening and that had historical proportions that was attached to it. So I agree. I think some of the victims of our war should have been there, because this is something that we've been pushing and kicking down the can for ever and ever and ever. And so just the mere fact that you had Alan White sitting right behind the senators, I understand why people got upset the way they got upset, because it made it appear like there goes our pa sitting down, watching over us with a switch, that if we don't do what is right, we coming to beat all of your butt. So I can understand the optics. Listen, Mr. White, I don't know him. I know he has been an advocate for justice, for war crimes. I know he played a part in the Taylor. I think he was one of the first prosecutors or investigators, not prosecutor, investigators in the Taylor thing. And he's been talking about this war crimes court thing. But I think that those seats should have been occupied yesterday by the victims of our war. I think that, look, there's something called the symbolism. You see in this country, when the president of the United States is giving his State of the Nation address, there's a reason why the first lady, they have the first lady's gallery. They have guests of the president. That in his speech, he will highlight those people, because he is he's trying to tie the story to some policy that he's giving. In her speech yesterday, I think the pro tem it would have been such a powerful moment if the pro tem had pointed her hand over to that gallery and said, here is a survivor from the Lutheran Church massacre, or some relative or some survivor. So I totally get where all this anger is coming from. And I would just state by doing this, I think people like Mr. White now should take a step back and I'm not saying take your hands off of it, because we're going to need all the help we can get to do all this thing. But this notion that, that he is the face of this. Look at the video with Mr. White and the president. Look at the video with Mr. White and the president of Liberia. He was asking the president of Liberia, what did you call me here for? Those things are a little condescending, the way it come across. And you see the president standing there, and you're like, oh yeah, Alan, you've been a fighter, and so I will only say, I hope
I'm looking forward to reading what this court formation, all the different things will look like. But I hope it has a Liberian face. I hope it has an African face. I hope it doesn't come across as another Western dominance trying to come to say, okay, you know what, we're coming to impose justice, and we're telling them what is good for them. Because at the end of the day, there's a lot that can go around and a lot that can be said. But I think if the conversation is healthy, it's fascinating, and I'm enjoying it. And I think this is what we need. We need we need the passion that we see coming out of our people. But I thought it was a great day yesterday, and I'm glad that Senator Prince Johnson signed it. By the way, I'm glad he did.
Where's the resolution now? Is it going back to the
Well, the resolution has gone back to the House of Representatives because it is not the exact same resolution that they sent over to the Senate. From the information I have received from high-level sources within the House of Representatives, they are going to concur with it. They're going to sign it. They don't think the language. I think it's just a language thing.
But one of the things they changed in there is going to be 2 codes.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter for me.
It doesn't matter. I just want to just
and that's what I'm saying.
A crime code will be in Liberia on the through the Liberia system, and the war crime code it will get an international standard. So it's going to be 2 codes.
So you think after the lower court have concurred with the Senate, when it gets to the president desk, when the president signs, you think it will be an occasion? It will be an occasion, or occasion where people will come.
It's going to be left with the executive mansion to do what they want to do. I think the president is going to sign it. He has to sign it. I think there is. I saw the statement immediately from the United States Embassy. So we're going to wait and see what the optics are going to look like around the president.
What do you think the U.S. government issue a statement right away? I mean, as if they were waiting for it to happen, or they
support it. They've always said it. They support it. They sent the war crimes global advocate ambassador to Liberia. You heard her on OKFM. I think they support it. So my only issue is that we should get the support that we need to be able to fund this. And from all of the indications that we have been receiving is that we are going to get it. So,
guys, Grace. While Grace talking, they'll bring the PYJ tips. They get the tips from PYJ. It's important that we listen to PYJ.
Yeah.
So guys, didn't you answer the question though? While Alan White was there, you said he asked the president, Mr. President, why did you want me here? So the men were actually invited there by the government.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Exactly the case.
But listen, if you listen to Yomdi Kanga
and your government for
interview, if you listen to Yomdi Kanga interview after that, or interview after the
yes, she wasn't aware he was there, right?
Yes, she said she was.
Yeah, but that doesn't negate.
That's what she said. She said,
but I don't negate the fact that he is.
But for me, the optics appear like a slave master sitting behind. That's all. For me.
Let me tell you, this Senate, under the leadership of Yomdi Kanga, Senator Kanga,
there's a trade house.
That was the law. Cancel a public confirmation hearing for the Minister Destiny for Foreign Affairs on account that there were unwanted visitors, Liberians, in the chambers.
Exactly. That's the point I was going to make. Exactly.
Only the Gabo or Yomdi Kanga. There was no problem.
No. Let's correct.
Drum there. Why he canceled?
No, that's not even
that
the
was
reason.
A total different. I don't want to argue that.
The reason was one of the key reasons they canceled it was because people were sitting in the senator's chair.
Yes, sir.
Not because they were in the gallery.
I didn't want to go argue.
They were sitting in the chamber itself, sitting in senator's chair.
And as a cheering squad, right there.
So I will still go back to this. You know, we can't make excuses for ourselves for inaction and we're making excuses. That's why I beg Robert and Kev, let's get away with this Adam White issue. Let's go on to more substantive issue.
I agree.
So Calabo, I agree. Let's move past it.
Let's
and
move
you know what?
Stop it is done. We can't reverse that action from yesterday.
And you know what? If the senators and those in charge, especially the government, if they were the one who invited him, then my view, as stated earlier, goes towards them. Again, because some of these very guys believe that to fix Liberia and to get anything serious done, I mean, look at the War on Economic Crimes Code. The question is, have we all not wanted the War on Economic Crimes Code? Yes,
years ago.
majority of us have been talking about it. Question is, why has it not been done? Why do you need pressure? Why do you need pressure? Why do you need an international partner telling you you must do this or else you will not get this support, or you must do this or else this will not be done before you get it done? Why do we need this? If it is the right thing to do, you don't need anyone looking behind your back to do what's right. You do what's right. Problem is, we have always elected leaders that don't know their rights, that don't know their core responsibilities, and that don't have the capacity to do anything that's right. And this is where we find ourselves. But my point will remain my point. If Liberia must be fixed, it will take Liberians. We have we have people who are smart on this very platform. Look at Professor Larry. Look at Grace. Look at Kelebu. Look at Dr. Peabody. We have people who genuinely love our country. Look at what happened in Ghana. It took a Peabody to go to Ghana to take a mission out there to see our people, go back to Liberia, speak with leaders in the interest of our people. Where have the international community been? I mean, we've got to do better. Liberians will fix Liberia, not no white man. And this is what pisses me off, because whether they invited him or not, Ali Whiteface should not have been out there. Let Liberians who went through the suffering and went through the pain, let them be the face of War on Economic Crimes Code.
I wish all of the
30 seconds, guys.
You play the tip, man.
No, we're not going to promote snow yet. Let's go.
30 seconds. We're not playing snow, man. 30 seconds. 30 seconds for me.
Even if that's snow, it's a senator.
30 seconds for me. Let me just state Alan White, but let it just be stated for the record that Alan White is not just flying around in Monrovia. He's a guest of the Liberian government. He's a guest of the president.
So that means they're paying for his accommodation too, huh?
Oh, I don't know, but listen, I know Alan White is not in Liberia just because he just got on the plane and just showed up. Alan White is a guest of the Liberian government. He's a guest of the president of Liberia. He sat down with the president the last trip he was there a couple of times. He did he said on SKTV that he did a documentary. This is what he's doing in Liberia is a documentary leading up to the creation of this court. So I don't want us to also forget the fact that he just didn't show up at that hearing. I don't think he did. I think he is there for a reason, and he's there because our government invited him to go there. So I think I agree with you, Robert. I think your maybe your frustration and your concerns that you're having should be tailored towards the government of Liberia, because the president of Liberia sat down and Alan White interviewed him. Like I said, he interviewed him on this issue. So, I mean, for me, I think it's...
Tomalin, can you tell
right. I've spoken to so many lawyers. Alan White has met some lawyers, and I know what they've discussed behind the scene. He's not just an ordinary visitor in Liberia.
All right, so we're going to play the video now.
Yeah, you play the
Let me Grace can speak, and then I can say something real quick.
Yeah, okay. I wanted to clarify something on the Bakari sellers, because the seditions there, they're on my case. I am the president of Liberian Women Advocacy Network International. Just we are government time. A lot of women were raped, they were domestically abused, and a lot of those things went on. So when he was trying to get Bakari sellers, I had the right. Y'all don't know you already. Let me just tell you today. I had a right as a Liberian woman to send the rape videos or numerous of them pictures of girls getting raped, their honor part getting damaged. I said, all of it. And I'm proud of that, to Bakari Seller's office. To tell him that if you will lobby for Georgia, you have to lobby for Liberian women. And you have to lobby for us being protected in Liberia under Georgia government. And that was my right. And I don't regret it. Go ahead. Thank you.
But he was our lobbyist.
Yeah, but let Robert finish.
So that's
let
Larry come in. Grace, he knew what you guys were saying.
Let Larry
Yeah, man. No, but I need to make that clear, guys. So he knew it was not true what you said. He knew it was not true. Because how I know that? Because I was there.
Yeah, we're not trying to counteract everything people say.
Let me say two things real quick. Yeah, so I agree.
I was there with Bakari Salas. I was
Yeah.
there. I was sitting right there.
Yeah, CDC, let Larry speak, man.
But the record that we sent it to him, period.
He didn't
Yes,
take
he
your
did,
serious.
yeah.
No, he knew it was not true. He didn't take your serious.
Oh,
So let me say two things real quick. Yeah, so two things real quick, and I'll say why I agree totally with what Robert is saying. You know, Liberians have to want this. If someone is telling us to do this, it's not going to be successful because it's like we're doing something that we don't really want to do. We have to really want it in your life. If somebody tell you to do something that you don't want to do, more than likely you're not going to get it done. It's like trying to quit doing drugs or alcohol. If you go out and seek the help, you would get it done and would be successful. But someone telling us to do it, it's not going to get done. And let me say this. The fact that Alan White's organization, and I hate going back to this, the fact that his organization is lobbying, when President Weah didn't go along with what they wanted to do, they started lobbying with Congress and they pushed sanctions against Weah. So President Boyka need to be very mindful. If this thing doesn't make it all the way through according to what BW Global wants, he may end up in some, because if you read that statement as to what they represent, they say they represent good governance in Liberia. My question is, who is this office in Liberia that have hired them as a foreign lobbyist to Liberia? Who is it that is behind it that hired them as a foreign lobbyist to Liberia? Because when you read that statement, up until I think February of 2023, they were paid about $49,000 in one shot. They made an adjustment of $49,000. They were paid almost $80,000. So, and they said the money was coming from Liberia. So who is paying them? We need to understand that because they're not there as, out of, some altruism. It's not out of their good heart that they're doing it. No one goes to Washington to lobby for free. It just doesn't happen. Liberians have to want this. Liberians have to pursue it, and then it will be long lasting. So inviting someone like Alan White is, you can say you want to do it because you want to lobby Washington for money to build these courts, but it's not a good thing. Liberians should want it, and Liberians should pursue it, and let's not let a U.S. foreign lobbyist influence how we get justice for people who suffered during the war. It's been 20-something plus years. We must want it, and we must pursue it, and it will be successful. Because historically, if you look at what happened in Sierra Leone, you look at other countries where foreign lobbyists have come in. Anyone is also working in Nigeria. He's done some work in Nigeria as well. So let's be thankful that the resolution has gotten as far as it's gotten, and let's see now if we can influence our lawmakers, our leaders, to take it, to the final gates and get it done. But let's forget about the lobbyists for a second, because if this guy doesn't get paid, he will go after President Boyka. I can tell you that for free.
But Professor Kennedy, just for the panelists, I'm informed that Alan White is very close to the Minister of State and the Chief of Staff to the President. They work together in Washington, D.C. I think on a lobbying firm during the 6 years. So I think he's guest of that Ben said. I think that he is the guest of the government because that's Sylvester Grisby buddy. So Grisby will not bring the man in the country, and they are where the hotels are. I won't call the hotel here, but there's.
I can call the hotel name.
No, you can't do that. Yeah.
But Tomalin, even added to that, in some of the conversation Alan White has had with people in Monrovia, the Vice President Kuhn is involved with Alan White too.
I don't know about that one, but
Ellis Wapo is close to the Vice President. And I'm aware of all of that. I'm aware of that. Jeremiah Kuhn and Alan White have actually had many close to meeting. And even PYJ guy aware of that.
How can that be possible? The governing council chair of the MPR that PYJ. So
watch out and see.
No, can I say
different chat room from Nima? Watch out and see.
The man is an Ibadians. He know what he's talking about. So Kun try to take off.
You want to believe that PYJ is PYJ against Alan White, then he would like
and then the VP will be.
Well,
PYJ does not
why
control
Caleb
the
is saying that
PYJ does not control the
Spoon is undermining PYJ.
By Liberian, PYJ does not control it.
Chairman, what the PYJ team now? You play.
I don't know. You the
Yes.
one you control.
Yeah, can get a Lofa that play thing quick, please.
I thought y'all had it.
I thought you had it already.
Oh, the guys that said had it, but
Look, but you know, as Professor Kennedy said, let them be honest if they're going to do that. But Alan White, president of Liberia, know nothing more than an economic gain. He's not going to go there and put in Liberia first and Liberia this. You know,
Right.
so let's see how far. Let's see how far that's going to go. It's going to go.
Well, let me ask you a question.
The Liberian people need justice. You know.
What Peabody? Can I ask you a question?
Mhm.
Is he supposed to do it for free? I'm just asking. Like,
Yeah, but
work for
the
free.
manner in which he's involved now.
He's not supposed to do it at all.
You
Oh, he's not supposed to do that. Oh, okay. So that's your point, Larry. He's not supposed
know, sitting there.
He's not supposed to do it at all.
Because it's a conflict of
It appears that the senators were under duress yesterday. The president.
No, I disagree. The people are not under no duress. The senators signed the thing before yesterday.
They felt like
You forgot that the only person who signed that thing yesterday was Prince Johnson. That was the only person who signed it yesterday.
Well,
Thank you,
all of them
Senator
signed it
Johnson.
before.
Thank you so much. You did well, sir.
So
the president felt like
there's no duress.
It's like kind of cynical of
This There's the guy who can bring sanction. There have been conversation in the Senate where people have sat down and they have major discussion. Oh, the Alan White the one can do the sanction. Oh my man, we saw your name on the list. Oh, Alan White the one control it. Alan White have people he said.
So you believe Alan White and people being scared?
Huh?
You believe Alan White for people?
But Ben, question for you, Ben. Question for you.
Yeah.
Why isn't it that Why isn't Alan White advocating? I got a question for Ben. Ben, why isn't Alan White advocating for the United States to be a member of the International Criminal Court since they want, all of this justice? They want to do it in African countries, but why isn't the United States a member of the International Criminal Court? Just to be fair.
Larry, I don't put my mouth in America.
So let me chime in here real quick. Can I chime in here real quick?
America won't do ICC.
He called my name 3 times. I'm not going to say.
At a foreign policy.
Larry, you want Ben to leave the show?
I don't do those things. I don't talk about U.S. I don't do those things.
I respect that, Ben. I respect that.
Y'all don't want y'all won't go march to the White House. Y'all go ask them. Y'all will not see me there. I can tell you that.
But I think Alan White's president doesn't really represent anything.
No, Ben will take you there, man.
No,
nothing.
You'll be with me to the mansion. Sorry, to the White House.
Lofa, ready now?
What is?
I sent it to you in your WhatsApp.
Okay, let me say this real quick. I will hate to derail the quality of this show, but now that I'm opportune to respond to Robert Gaga or Roberts, I think I'm going to use my time. I'm going to use my time to respond to
let him respond and let move on. Finish.
Okay, no, Ben, it is.
Let him respond and move on. I think it's his right to respond. I was said a lot.
Thank you. Okay, it's only fair that I respond to him, and then we'll move forward. So, Ben,
I'm just saying, and he will respond, and we move on.
Let respond, please.
I mean,
whether or not you want to hear me, right? The only reason why I would choose to just focus on what I believe I chose to be a part of this panel is because of Liberians. But I said, and I repeat, Robert, I want you to listen and listen keenly. I spoke English. I didn't speak any other dialect or language.
I only speak English.
It is not the arrogance. Keep quiet for a second, please.
Oh, you see, that's why I wanted to.
I said it. Now that is in return.
I don't speak another.
Great.
I mean, y'all stop pushing your fire.
Okay. So here's what I got to say to you. Okay.
I speak English well.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. Better than you.
Crossfire.
Okay, let's move on.
Pay
Let's
attention
move
then.
on now. Let's move on.
Pay attention.
Lofa,
Pay
please
attention and
finish
address
your
you.
thought. Let's move forward. Robert,
Well,
please get a mention.
you heard him interrupted, right? You heard
No,
him
don't ask me
interrupted.
a question though. You asked me a question, so I responded.
I did not ask you a question.
You said, "Do I speak English better than you?" I said, "Yes."
Robert,
No, you
please.
did, no,
let
you
the
did
man
not.
finish.
You did not.
You can't do that.
Guys,
No,
guys,
you did
Well, at least you're laughing. At least you're laughing now. Let's move on. At least you're laughing now.
No.
No, but I'm trying to just help the kid to understand something.
If
Very,
you
I mean,
want, if you
Well,
want,
Lofa, you
if
can't
you
call
want
him.
to move on, if you want them to move on,
who
just
is
mention
moving
your
on?
name.
let me land on this. Let me
Lofa,
land on this note.
Lofa,
Let me land on this note.
Lofa,
Let me
don't get
land
me
on this
started.
note.
You know
Let
that?
me land
All
on
right,
this note.
Robert Oleder, you call
Let
it.
me land
calling
on
me
this
a kid?
note. Let me land on this note.
Yeah,
Let me
Lofa,
land
you
on
calling
this
me a
call him
kid?
a kid now. You can't do that.
Okay,
Respectfully,
I was just okay. The
issue,
groom man.
let's move
Okay, the
forward.
groom man.
Yeah.
All right, let me just tell the groom
calling
man.
me
As
a
I
kid,
said
Lofa?
earlier.
I can pay your rent. You know that?
There you go. You stop. Okay, you know what? The two
You
of
calling me
you
a kid?
will exercise.
You know what?
Take care of you, Lofa.
No, we have.
Okay, two, yeah, move on.
Yeah, we have people watching the show,
I
man.
get a man who can take care of you. Call
I'm
that
gonna
one.
go there with you. You can pay my rent.
Don't bring your friskiness to me. You frisky.
Well, the first, you know what?
Okay.
Okay, end the progress. Kev,
Lofa,
Lofa, don't never bring your friskiness to me.
I'll blame you
How
for
about
the
it's okay
first
now?
thing that
Let me
you
go.
did
Okay,
Let's move on. Let's move on.
okay.
I don't blame you for the first thing that you exhibited
Lofa,
here
you got
tonight,
it.
Robert.
Can you play PYJ tape? I send it to you.
Yeah, I can play it. Send it to me.
I already hear what's up. Let's play.
Wait, where did you send it to? My messenger?
What's up?
All right. Why you put it there? Let's move on, guys. Let's move on.
you are just saying when I play
sometimes 14 good for the show. I love it.
No, it's good. I just wish you better.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I love what you.
I move on. Look.
For information, PYJ watching your play, everybody know how you're talking. Because he watching you, he will deal with you. Okay, PYJ, don't worry. I'll give you to respond.
Oh man, I am man calling.
But you put the tape on, let him hear it first.
Guys, continue to talk. See if I can get it.
He said he desperate. He said I'm seriously, desperately what?
But you know, let me get you my thoughts on the PYJ team before Lofa comes up. I think no matter what had happened, I think this was going to happen. This was definitely set in stone. If Weah had won that election, I'm being very clear with you. If George Manuel Weah had won that election without Prince Johnson's support, George Weah would have been pushing war crimes code. I can tell you clearly. I think the shock for PYJ is the fact that he was told that it would not happen, and then it ended up happening. But PYJ, I think he miscalculated who Joe Buckeye and the Unity Party is. If you look at the Unity Party's history when it comes to political alliance, they're users. That's all they are. That is what they do. If you look at the CPP, the reason the CPP crumbled in the end was because the Unity Party used the CPP to breathe life back into her lungs. Plain and simple. When they realized that they didn't need the oxygen tank anymore, they pulled the plug from the CPP. So I don't understand what PYJ was thinking about when he believed that he was not going to be used now. And maybe he will learn, but it's just maybe a little too late. Because as you can see now, and everybody has seen from past administration, whether somebody gave you the vice presidency, it's not a significant, powerful position under our political dispensation. There's nothing, because I'm pretty sure that one of the things they told him would take you got a vice president, the vice president will protect you. The vice president will protect. The power is inherent in the president when it comes to the governance structure of the country. So I think my dear Senator Prince Johnson, I think he needs to just take this one on the chin like a big boy or like an old man as he is, right? Set his thing up, get his legal team in place, right? He's been senator. He's the longest serving senator in our history as far as the new dispensation is concerned. I think he needs to put together a strong legal team. I think he needs to now start getting ready for his hit. Oh, you're talking to PYJ. He said I am so bad. Or you reported me to PYJ. But all I'm saying is this. I believe that no matter what had happened in 2023, this conversation was bound to happen. And I think, let's just face it, the Unity Party played a good game. And I give it to Vice President, to President Joe Buckeye. He has, you ready? Okay. Let me tell him, he has consistently used his star, his old man star, to bamboozle and to hoodwink everybody until he ended up becoming president of Liberia today.
But
We're
the
about to
thing
play
is
the,
that
we're about
Ben,
we're about to play the
Ben,
video now or what?
Yeah, we're about to play the audio.
Okay,
wanted to
I will say
to
something
you,
after
Ben.
then. I wanted to say something what Ben, leave for what Ben said earlier, but I will say
Yeah,
after.
Robert,
Oh,
give me 2 seconds.
no, go ahead, Grace, go ahead.
The president, they just torso now. That Bremen will say the president did not hide this thing. You remember when the election was going on in the chat, the president said he was going to turn Prince Johnson over for the World Economic
Yeah, but
Council.
before they formed the marriage.
Yeah, but I mean, if somebody says something before you're married, you gotta take it seriously. So he said that he was not hiding it. And if you were saying that if George Weah had won, he was still going to have to do this. So I mean, that's the reason why Prince Johnson had to choose either or. He was not going to happen to him.
You know, I'm relating. Yeah, he's he too much.
Lofa, you ready?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, let's
It
go.
was too late.
Tomalin, where is that information from?
You are just saying you talk all happy.
Can you guys hear it?
Yesterday, we look on the Facebook. We all heard that you signed a World and Economic Code of Liberia. Tell us more about that. Well, when I saw the reasons why I signed, I always, from the beginning, opposed World Crime Court establishment on the basis of the TRC recommendations. TRC recommendations on for the establishment of World Economic Crime Court. But the Supreme Court of this great country has condemned in 2010 those recommendations because they said the Supreme Court says they are all in violation, especially the recommendations concerning the prosecution of people they listed. The Supreme Court condemned the recommendations that they were all in violation of constitutional provisions. Now, if you want to establish World Crime Court in this country, based upon what Jerome Verdier and the group did, recommending for World Crime Court and putting people in and removing who they want to remove and putting people in who they want to prosecute and get rid of. The Supreme Court said no. The Honorable Elijah Semi knows about it very well. The guy, all of us have a copy of the Supreme Court ruling in 2010 on Justice Johnny Lewis. So why is the Liberian Senate dealing with illegal documents? Because when the Supreme Court condemned those recommendations and consider it unlawful, unconstitutional, or unenforceable, then it becomes law for the House of Elders that should contain people with wisdom to implement such things. Unfortunately, that's what they did. And when you talk about war in the Republic, it is made they put in the front as a notorious war criminal. How do I become war criminal? The war torture for 14 years. I only fought for 9 months because my objective was to get rid of those who were slaughtering Lima people and Liberian people. And after he was getting rid of the United Nations, the ECOWAS, the US embassy, they were present when I jumped.
Guys, sorry. Is it clear from your end or is it just the studio from me? Can you guys hear it clear?
It's a little blurry, but we can manage.
Okay.
I read newspaper in the Republic even this morning. The Joseph Branca regime has put the sponsor of many papers. Prince Johnson is on the front page, Victoria War Criminal. They want to get rid of it. Branca is imposing War Crime Court using the TRC recommendations, paying money to people. There are many nonsenses that are happening right now in this Monrovia. The government of Liberia, if Honorable Joseph Branca wants a War Crime Court, why don't you deal with the United Nations directly to bring our own investigative team to go all over the country again and get information about people who committed war crime. So when we start, instead of dealing with PRC report that the Supreme Court of your country has condemned. Another issue there is, why is Bota dealing with NGO to help him do war crime code while they're dealing with American government directly? The people you saw on Facebook sitting at our back when the debate was going on, they call him Allen White. Allen White in the group, they have an NGO, are putting pressure on Burkhardt. They give Burkhardt $230 million in jail, and that's why they're losing all your family resolution. Yesterday, I was embarrassed.
That's what be money. That's what
on Saturday, this was Saturday and Sunday. We didn't even know. They started secretly. When we got to the plenary on yesterday, they were only calling new countries that had signed. They all the countries represented in the Senate side. That's why I stood up to ask the president, all these documents, they say a conspiratorial maneuver against the country, headed by me. Why you didn't tell me? I'm the other senator, and you're all met here. Why you don't bring the resolution for us to reject or accept? After all, they brought 300 days when they're not done well. They kill our people in different chances, 600 people. They kill people in immigration control, US control there. They kill people at JFK. A lot of massacre took place there, slaughtering our people. We want to know who did those things. And the honest thing now, that everything on the book, we cannot go after anybody. We live in peace for 24 years and no trouble. And what he says that one country will bring bread and butter on our table. He said that one country will bring investors and cut down the unemployment rate in our country, reinvent our hospitals, our roads, and our schools. If that is the thing that will happen, when I sign the resolution at the outside, and I have the obstacle, then I will sign. If I don't so I don't know what is happening wrong with me. This morning. Okay, so why did they target me? Yeah, why do you think Ambassador Joseph is targeted people? The government is affiliating with people who don't want to see at all. Like the Ghanaian ground, the Roman ground, making the same between the economy, the development of the trade. When you say that the one country is being mentioned, when you start to see it, the two countries are one country, the people one country, they arrest you. Whether you're getting it, not getting it, they are only talking about. And this is the plan they have. 2 years ago, this is the plan they have. And we're not afraid of that. If that will bring the government to our country, so be it. That's what I saw yesterday. Now, all the 75 people, I could have the church, I have the church, the fellowship, but I want to go to Americans and the children, and the government is going to all do this, to do some dinner. I don't know why we are doing the Lutheran church. In the JFK hospital, area there, and the union come down, and the Christian come down, and all the places, the children, the universities, in 1990 and so forth, I don't know. So I'm fine. So looking forward to what the next step will be. Okay. So let's come to the democratic debate. The by-election is less, as I said, what do you propose? I have spoken about this many on Twitter. I will not support Nigeria. Whose party is prosecuting us?
Lofa, we can't hear you too clear, man.
Yeah, I think we heard enough.
Yeah. The other thing he said, he's not supporting Yan Twine. That is major.
Wow.
That's major.
Yeah.
Wow.
But not only that, he said, Kun party is prosecuting us. He was referring to the
he said Yan Twine.
Eko Kuniba. Hey, Kelabo.
Yeah, he didn't call.
What happened to you and Cool?
Eko Kuniba.
Let me say something, please.
Did he say full name?
Let me say something, please. So listening to that, right? Just listen to that tip. What I gather is that I heard you hear the voice of a scary old man. I mean, it's obvious that he's farting. This man is at the age where he should be nearing retirement, where you will want to really kick back and enjoy life at this point, right? I think that he doesn't see that at this point. What he sees is the possibility of him spending the rest of his life in prison. A few things he mentioned. He said the justification relative to why he signed doesn't even make sense, right? If this will bring economic growth, if this will bring development, and I'm the obstacle, so I signed. No, this is not what this is about. If you truly believe that you are revolutionary and that the justification for the crimes that you committed is that your people were being slaughtered in Lima County and everything that you've explained, then this should be explained in the court of law. This is the reason why you will have your day in court so that you can justify your action. And he talked about how did I become a war criminal? Well, a war criminal, Mr. Prince Johnson, is very simple. A war criminal is a person who carried out an act doing the conduct of a war that violates international rules when it comes to the rules of engagement of war.
Even if he wasn't convicted in a court.
Even if he wasn't convicted, no. Or you don't have to necessarily be convicted of war crimes to become a war criminal. The act committed that violates international rules when it comes to the engagement of wars makes you a war criminal. So you are a war criminal. And again, if you just feel like 9 months participation in the war is a justification, then you're not the only war criminal, right? But I think Prince Johnson is scared. I think he realizes that his time is numbered, and that he could possibly, until this resolution is signed by Joseph Boycott, that he could possibly once and for all be held accountable for his role in this senseless war. All of this explanation makes absolutely no sense to me. Just prepare yourself. Get you a team of lawyers. Let them put together a justification, an argument that actually legally makes sense in court, and let's see where the facts lead. But all of this noise and all of this thing, we don't care about it. We don't care about it. Don't explain this to us. Explain this in court when that time comes. But Prince Johnson, you are a war criminal. You're not the only war criminal, but you are a war criminal, and that's the fact.
Wow. At least I'm Peabody myself. We're not all doing that thing, somebody else playing that role now. Peabody, we're not us talking, not us attacking him.
What?
I mean, Tomalin, dangerous man too. Is it a man playing a role?
When I listen to the
we have a new guest. So
Mayor, welcome me, Mayor. You acting like you see me for. You miss Chakla, you show, eh?
Tell me, welcome.
Welcome, guys.
It's good to see you, Telvi. Welcome.
Woo! I was trying to listen to the friend of fires. I was just like, woo!
This is my faucet. This is my faucet sister. You're not bring her yet?
I'll be nice, man. I like you.
So you love closing arguments because you love FOL.
What else say about the tape? What else say about
FOL, my first love.
For me, the tape, when I listen,
John making a point, right? You agree? Making a point.
I don't think he's making a point. As Rawa said, he sounds like a frail, it's sorry for seriously for us, we Liberians.
I gotta go to
although people can do things sometimes we got sorry how to you listen to the paper, you feel sorry for him. He sounds frail, he sounds afraid, he sounds afraid of what is in the future for him. And we understand that, but he also has to understand that Liberians, we need this war and economic crimes code for accountability and justice in our country. For it, not even said for our generation anymore, it's for the future generation of Liberia. And us who going toward that area now as older people will get to our retirement maybe in 28 years or so or 30, depending on your age. So I hear that, but the part I read it came out to me and he said that he wants them to start all over. Like the TRC report, he doesn't want them to go by the TRC report. He wants the United Nations to come in. And to me, even with that, it would still be worse. The people, although the TRC report got people who testifying and some of them already dead, they never saw this thing come to fruition for them. Their family will see it. But the people have to go by the record and go by that TRC report. So I don't know, what they will go by. I'm just saying, he has his own thing that he wants to happen. And when you commit crime, you don't just tell the people how to judge you when you commit crime. You have to just sit down and wait until they put everything in process, and you will go by the process and you will be judged by that process. So it depends on what the Liberian government decides to do with the help of the international community. If they want to bring the TRC report back, they will go by it. They will go by it. If they want to bring a new investigation, they will still go by it. Either or, Prince Johnson, they will still catch you because you are on tip, killing, or murdering a president of the Republic of Liberia. Until today, I can't even bear to watch that tape. So many other people were killed in Kawe for no reason, and that's what make you a war criminal, because civilians were just murdered for no reason. People like Fat Tuckman, someone said earlier, then they were just murdered on the base in Looking Town for no reason. They never fought the war. They were just looking for food to eat, and it was under your watch. And besides, you actually murdered Fat Tuckman, President Tuckman's nephew. You murdered him. People watch that whole thing. They got people that can testify today that it happened. So we feel bad. You're a frail old man now, but Charles is in prison. He's serving his time. It's just the right thing to do for you to go to and serve your time, and for justice to be done for the Liberian people. Thank you.
So let me.
Go ahead, Lofa.
No. I'll let you. I'll let you. I'll let you talk. Go ahead. I don't want to get no fight.
No, joke.
Every that's called rapper for him if he that's called rapper.
I know. After school fight, my goodness. Ooh. But no, on a serious, on the Prince Johnson matter. Let me say something about Prince Johnson. Of course, Robert said it. He's frightened. So why is he frightened? I said this thing many years ago on another platform. Hearing the name Prince Johnson, I'm still traumatized by that, because during the war, I was across the bridge, looking at Moradukwe Church. Across the bridge, then later on went to Moradukwe Church. We saw what Prince Johnson did. Not only did he kill, though, killing innocent people as he was driving by, killing people, his soldiers killing people. So if he felt that he killed people in defense of Nimakante people or whatever he causes, he should have no fears. Let me just go to court and give his justification. Child, we do in America. You gave your justification, you gave your evidence, and the people think you got enough cause, they will free you. But I can promise you, even if you're 100 years old, you will serve your time. Because as a little girl, I watched you across the bridge. I even watched you so many times coming in the compound, taking people from there. You forgot when you told Amy Collins? You took the people who work from there and kept them hostage? You not forget?
Why you left with me? Why you used to be hiding?
Oh, I used to be hiding. And what's so much too? When I met people coming, they say, Prince Johnson coming, see all running. We'll be running. Even when coming for drawing water in the back, when he coming, fish have the body, drop the bucket of water, we running. Because we even know who he gonna, when he passing, who he will kill. That's what he's scared for. What he's scared for? When you're not thinking we are killing the other people's children, the other people's husbands and their wives, and ordering the killing of other people. Have no fears. Anything you give your life to Jesus, just go to court. Go to court, yeah. Go to court.
I do that no more.
So,
to say like English.
Let me say, you don't know who you killed. What kind of killing you talking about, Chevy?
Gunshot killing.
Oh, okay. I'm a little confused.
You see Keff Hassan? You see Keff mine? You see?
Let me tell you.
Really, Keff? Really?
The man when you take people out of hostage, she will come there to killing.
Talk about what kind of killing?
Taking people, taking women.
Craig Ellison White. Craig Ellison White.
You don't chance calling, any calling, fine woman, I want to walk out director in particular church. Fine woman, I want her established from the. Then I'm sure you know chance calling because you don't want to know the whole world. Tomalin, all of you probably know that family. Beautiful family. Scattered of people who were had a woman hostage. We used to cry in that place. You would be carrying that people with us and that. That woman here is captured. I don't even know what that woman is now. The one couldn't leave the point where they scatter the people, whole family, how the people in distress, the children, small children. Prince Joseph coming, we running, we even know who will be next. When he passed in, he car away, all the kind of things, feet have the body. Then he's shooting as he's going. Shooting. Please, man. You better
it's no doubt. It's no doubt that the people of Nima did suffer a lot. Let's be honest here. On a Doe did a lot of killing as well. But equally so, Prince Johnson and all those who are involved need to face justice. I think about Walter Allison, how Prince Johnson on TV beat that old lady, beat her. I mean,
hey,
what
bro? You're going to buy it off.
Yeah, but I mean, it's sad. I think not Prince Johnson won, but all those involved, directly or indirectly, should be brought to justice, and I think they should face the consequences. People die. If Taylor can be serving in jail in London, why can't they to face justice? Why can't they?
So let me stop calling him. Let me tell you something. It wasn't our calling because with Amy calling stuff, it was not a secret thing. There were even a 300-400 the whole church compound when he captured that people's wife and carried that woman in front of something. So it wasn't hard. And so with other people that he killed, it wasn't a hidden thing. So it's not it's a public information. He did it in front of thousands of people. And he paraded every day killing people as people were coming, would be running. Even today, if I see that man, I would run. They thought that his name is traumatizing to me for what I watched.
So can I just say something here, though? I'm listening to everybody, and to be honest with you guys, why it is true that I am one of those who will stand for and beg to have the war and economic crimes court established in Liberia. I think everybody keeps saying Prince Johnson. Now I can see why he feels like he's targeted. Everybody keep pointing at him as compared to other people who contributed to mayhems in our country. What about the dude butt naked who admitted to killing thousands of Liberians? I don't think
burning them alive.
Huh? Thank you.
Burning them alive.
Burning them up and pulling babies out of people's womb. This man admitted to that. And he claimed to be a man of God today. He's shielding himself with the Bible. I think this is why Prince Johnson all along been using Liberians as shield and using the Bible to protect himself because he felt like he's being targeted. While it is true that he contributed to, the trauma that Liberians are going through, I don't think we should make this seem like it's just about Prince Johnson. There are thousands of other Liberians who contributed to the problem in Liberia. So let this discussion.
You got George Bullock. You got
thank you.
George Bullock.
Can I after Lofa, I want to say something quick to respond to Lofa. 1 second, please.
Okay. So I think it should be about those perpetrators, okay, of war crimes. I agree that Prince Johnson is exposing himself because he refused to keep quiet. He refused to keep quiet and show some remorse. It appears as though he's justifying his action, and that's why people are often mentioning him, because every time he gets on his pulpit, he's saying something controversial. I can understand why people will want to point him out and say, look, you need to keep quiet. You're not protecting yourself and you're justifying your action. That's the worst part about it. But I don't think the War and Economic Crimes Court is only coming for Prince Johnson. Mm-hmm. We still have the likes of, when we speak of the Economic Crimes Court, are you forgetting the corruption King Kong? This guy, Alex Tyler, you don't think he should be questioned as well? Are you ignoring the fact that Edwin Melvin Snow should also be questioned about economic crimes, and several other senators and lawmakers who contributed to corrupt practices in Liberia? This is not about Prince Johnson. I'm not a fan of this man, and I will say this, but here's what I think. If we are going to apply justice, it must be done holistically, not to pinpoint individuals. Let us go across the board, because Liberia found herself where she is today because of the likes of Prince Johnson and other people who were involved in economics and war crimes. So while we are highlighting Prince Johnson's contribution to all of these mayhems and other things, I want to say that others who were part of it should understand it's not only about Prince Johnson. You contributed. While it is true that Prince Johnson will not simply keep quiet, show some remorse so that hopefully the court can come, either be vindicated or prosecuted. You continue to talk. There are others who actually did things in the back.
Can I say something? I just want to say something quickly. And Lofa, towards the end, I think you redeem yourself a little bit, because I think there's and it's serious, because all of the other names that you talked about, right? First of all, the reason we have not had this war and economic crimes court has been simple. The people who have been presidents after our war ended just didn't muster the political will and the courage to do it. It's just plain and simple. Or the leadership, right? Whether it was Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, whether it was George Weah, at least now Joseph Boyka mustered the courage to put it in his inaugural speech. And now we have a legislature that has passed resolutions, and it looks likely that he's going to do it. But the reason people are highlighting Prince Johnson, like you rightly said, butt naked, I would never defend butt naked, never. But butt naked appeared before the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, admitted to his wrongs, pled for forgiveness. And even with that, butt naked is a prime and a strong supporter of the War and Economic Crimes Court. Prince Johnson, on the other hand, has been the most, I think he has fought against this War and Economic Crime Court more than he even defended, than he said he defended the people of Nimba. He's made this about him. That's why I said when I saw him get up to sign it, I was like, okay, so then what was all this show for? Because at the end of the day, like Telvi has said, and maybe we're sitting here and we're listening to it and we're taking it for joke. Or I mean, not joke, sorry, wrong choice of word, or we're taking it light.
Mm-hmm.
Look, imagine what some of those victims are going through in Liberia, watching Prince Johnson determine who become president of Liberia in the last 3 or 4 election cycles and get celebrated over and over and over. Prince Johnson determined who became president of Liberia a few months ago. So I can understand where all the passion is coming from. Like I said, listening to Telvi, everybody got war stories. Everybody got war stories. One of the things that I've always said about Liberians is that we are we're just some interesting group of people. We take things for granted, but ultimately, I think we carry our pain, that it just takes the simplest and the littlest thing to remind us. Mm-hmm. That is the danger Liberia faces today. That's the danger. So I think this is going to provide closure. Everybody who felt or who feels that they acted in defense of their people or their actions was in self-defense, that's what the court is there for. Mm-hmm. When people murder people in this country or in any civilized society in the name of self-defense, they go to court. They say because you did it in self-defense, you don't go to court. You go to court, a jury before your PS will come and say, you know what? She committed a crime, but it was done in self-defense.
Right.
What I am only saying is that all the other names you've called, I've never heard any one of those people say they want war crimes court. I've never heard them thumb their finger in the nose of the Liberian people. Prince Johnson has been the only actor.
And it's that old man following the show, though.
That's his business.
I'm just saying.
The only actor in our politics and in our country, even Charles Ganke Taylor, when he was on trial in The Hague, Charles Taylor said, hold me accountable for what happened in Liberia. I am ready.
Take ownership.
Prince Johnson has never said that.
Can take ownership.
He has never accepted responsibility for his actions. By the way, And his evidence is just walking behind him, May walking behind, June walking behind, July, all walking behind him. So my advice to him is very simple. Lawyer up. You have worked as a senator for the last couple of years, the last almost 2 decades now. Lawyer up, put your defense together. Don't hide behind a purported amnesty law that you say was signed. The time has come for the people of Liberia to see this thing go through. And for me, I agree with you, Lofa. Let it go across the board. And I think everybody has said, even the people who have been accused of economic crimes have also said, we want an opportunity to go clear our name. Exactly. I have never heard Prince Johnson say that. And I think it's hard time that he does that. Let him come out and say, you know what? Of everything that I have been accused of, I welcome this court because I want to go and clear my name. That's all I want to say. So that I think you
program notes quickly.
30 seconds.
Program real quick. If all goes well, we'll have Senator Snow tomorrow. Okay. And then I just got information that the president already the executive order for this war crime court. I think they completed it today, this evening, and then the letter to United Nations ambassador will also be completed. So I'm sure President Baga is very serious about it. I think we're giving we'll see, but the information we're getting is that they're already in the process of doing everything has been done today. So let's see what happens as soon as the lower court concur with the Senate tomorrow and see what happens. But we'll keep our fingers crossed to see this happen.
So and Ben, just quick, 30 seconds. I think that's what I'm following you. 30 seconds. You completed that. Okay, I'll keep quiet. Remember, you come back for 30 seconds. I keep quiet. Go ahead. No, go ahead. Okay, I was just gonna say to Ben, that was my point. He probably needed to keep quiet, but he continued to defend his position as though people don't have a history of what he did. There are evidence to all his contributions. So I think I'm not supporting Prince Johnson. Everybody know that. I'm one of those who go ahead, but I feel sorry for listening to his voice. I mean, I feel kind of sad for him now too. I mean, it's sad, but he did.
Well, that's fear.
Let's try and not go more than 2 minutes because I'm looking at the time. We have a serious.
I know because it's Kellevo Kev is reminding me of the time.
No. I didn't even know.
He doesn't want the other side of the alternative view. He doesn't want that, so that's fine. Okay, Solo. Okay, Kev, I'll respect your 2 minutes. I will try as much as possible to be very short here. But on the PYJ thing, I mean, I'm sitting down here listening to PYJ audio, and I'm in different in my chat room, and I'm listening. I'm reading some of the things as people are writing, and I'm just laughing. I know this old man not very well, but I've interacted with him before. I will tell you guys a short story. In 2011, the late Tano Maro, may his soul rest in peace. He was a very good friend of mine, a very good comrade. He called me and he said to me, PYJ would like to talk to you. And he said to me, PYJ wants your support for him to contest and become president of Liberia. And I said, let him call me. So PYJ called me. He was in Nigeria. He placed a call to me. And he said, Kellevo, we need to defeat Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. And I said, well, you in Nigeria. When you come back, send for me, let's talk. He said, but I'm sending my campaign manager now and another star of my party, NUDP, to meet you. So we went to Bush Quarter and we had the king to meet me. And I said to them, here is my free advice to you. PYJ has a whole pass. If he wants to live in peace, my kind of advice is, Benende Batua, his late now, may his soul rest in peace. You'll tell him, let him go somewhere to his village in Nema and establish maybe an elementary or become the town chief and be settled in this dispute. People cook his GB, he swallow. Let him vanish. People should not see him. Then people will forget him. But if he gets in politics, politics is a touchy game. He's going to step on powerful interests, and that will lead to his downfall. And that sounded like a fairy tale to them. And we are where we are today because he's been caught in the throes of his own creation. He has been moving from one political camp to another for survival. All PYG has done all along is a survival game.
And he's been successful, though. He's been successful.
Yes. But you know, in Liberia, what do we say? We say, 99 days for road, 1 day for master, right? He crooked George Weah this time, and George Weah has a powerful God. He actually jumped from where I would say maybe he was in a onshore enjoying in the frying pan with Bwaka. And that's it. So for me, and I think I applaud PYJ for not supporting Georgia on this one. Because at least for that one single action by PYJ, Liberia is going to finally get justice. And I applaud him. I was angry with him for not supporting Georgia, but for today, I'm actually happy that he did not do that. He did not support Georgia. So I'm happy and we're going to have once in our justice.
It's a done deal, guys. From what I see right now, it's a done deal. This thing,
It's a done deal. It's a done deal, and that's why I was trying to.
Now, let me add to Listen.
Thank you, Mr. President.
For now, he can say, he can say what we say. But when judges sit in chamber, the first thing when the court is established, he as a senator, when he's indicted and the sheriff of the court moved there with gallant with armed men to arrest him, undress him, take him to court to bring under control of the authority of the court, because you have to be arrested, handcuffed, put in chain, and put right there for you to come under the authority of the court. That's when you sit and say, I croaked the Liberian people for long, and I reached my end.
Wow. Wow. I was telling Lofa earlier, this is not just something. This is serious.
Keff, it's serious. Keff, what information I'm getting here is serious. I think it's a done deal. By Monday, look, if Waga approval rating was in the low 30s by Monday next week, I know it will go up high, because from what I'm seeing here,
I'll declare support for Waga on Monday.
Thank you.
I'll declare support for President Waga on Monday. But make sure I'll be Waga's spokesman now in closing argument.
You're going too far now.
He enjoyed government upon government. He got free money. The man lived up to 70 years after he fought a war. He was young, and he enjoyed. He had power. He been senator for a whole country. The people adore him. So what more God can give you? To me, say God blessing in a way. It's time for him to pay for his crimes. So you just need to go and pay for it.
Grace, you correct. It's time for PYJ to exit the political scene. He needs to go away. Let Liberians who suffer take their country and move the country forward. So it's time for him to go away. Just go away.
Kev, can I
let me look at what he did to Tecumseh Robert. Tecumseh Robert, I knew him well. When we interviewed him, I asked him, he gave me a story, PYJ gave me all kind of story, but we knew he killed that poor man, and I think he needs to be out of the scene. So kudos to the Speaker Kofa, who championed this. He pushed, because let's say this, the president can want it, but if the House doesn't push, if Speaker Kofa leadership in the House to gather everybody, including opposition and opposition, put people together, it will not happen. And also Senator Yombli Kanga, who also did well as a pro temp. That dark side should come to an end, because remember, PYJ alone deciding election in the country, in Liberia, deciding election, and it in Nimba, they have a lot of good and decent people. Calabo here is from Nimba, and his sister, his brother, they are well decent people, but they are overshadowed by Prince Johnson, and he decide the fate in Liberia.
Keff
Is it
Hassan,
time for him to
Let
exit
me
and
let
let
me
Liberian take over?
can I ask you a quick question, Kev?
Uh-huh.
I know you often said you don't believe there will be any war crimes court. Do you now believe that there will be a war crimes court in Liberia?
What I said at that time,
Mhm.
I think when our government came in power, we make a conscious decision that we need to build the country first. We need to the country was in a bad shape. We need our priorities is to build the country, get jobs for the people and do things. But and President we also said it's up to the legislature. If you want it, it's up to the legislature, and that's what happened now. So they pass it. So if the people want it, and their representation in the House say they want it, no president can deny that. No
let me
president can deny.
let me chime in for a second. Look, I for one, I do not have any. I don't sympathize or empathize with Prince
If
Johnson.
Fiola gives you something else.
I do not. I don't empathize with him. I think that he has been senator for how long now? Over a decade. Do you know how much money this man has made on the backs of the very folks that the families that are hurt, and people that have suffered, and people that have not had closure all these years? I mean, do we feel sorry for them? I mean, those are the folks that really feel sorry for, because, like Grace said, he has crooked the Liberian people for a very long time, and why he's been at it,
Drinking beer,
why he's been at it, he's benefited immensely from the Liberian people. I mean, Prince Johnson should be a multi-millionaire by now. He has lived a decent life over 2 decades. He has lived a decent life at the backs of Liberians. He should have been in jail for those 2 decades. He's been in public service, and for those times he had the voice that they have given him, that our politicians have, and the influence that he's been accorded. And so I don't feel sorry for him. I feel sorry for the victims. I feel sorry for young men and women who were not given the opportunity to grow up in Liberia. I feel sorry for those Zogos that have been on the streets, men of whom were ex-combatants. I feel sorry for those very Liberian people that he's manipulated. He's played on their intelligence and their minds, and people who just don't know any better. I feel sorry for them, because some of the decisions that we make today are a result of the system that's been created. I mean, a lot of these folks have not even sat in the classroom. A lot of these folks are not, they're not making logical decisions for themselves. They cannot even do that. Fathers and mothers, you know, and I heard Lofa talked about, it's not only Prince Johnson. I think everyone else have made that point. It's not only Prince Johnson, but how many of the other warlords have you seen done multiple interviews making justification for what they did? I mean, I'm not sure when the last time Butt Naked did an interview justifying why he ran the street butt naked and ate people's heart. He's been remorseful, and even at that, he should still have his day in court, and he has submitted himself to have his day in court. The other folks that are mentioned, how many of when was the last time you saw them on national radio justifying their actions? When was the last time they did that? When was the last time Prince Johnson was on the radio justifying his actions? Just yesterday. We just listened to the one today. So he has always made this about him. We haven't made this about him. We've asked for war on economic crimes court. We haven't made it about him. He's made it about himself. He's put himself at center stage. And when you put yourself at center stage, it's because it's for a reason. That means he's committed the worst of crimes. And you know what? His crimes are crimes that were caught on national radio, national TV. Everybody watched it. Everybody saw it. And this justification about the Nima people and what they went through. Look, there are people that Prince Johnson killed that had nothing to do with what happened to the Nima people. How is he going to explain that in court? How do you explain that in court? Those innocent lives that were taken, those people who were captured, killed, did they have anything to do with the slaughtering of Nimbabians? No,
And he did it after he killed. He did it after he killed Dole. He was killing those people on the island, Bushel Island, after he killed Dole. So it had nothing to do with
it. And so I gotta say, I think this is just one aspect of Joseph Boakas's premise, and we gotta give credit where credit is due. I think if this goes through on Monday, I think this is a huge one for him, and we've got to be objective here. Why it is true that I did not see change in this unity party government, and I still don't seriously see any change. I mean, we just talked about the budget and what that means, but I think on this issue of the establishment of war crimes court, I think Joseph Boakai must be given credit here. And if the president is listening to my voice, Mr. President, I'm a critic, right? And I got to say to you, you have mustered the political courage to get this through. This is apolitical. This should not be a partisanship thing, but this is the right thing to do in the interest of Liberians. And I think that you, of all people, have been the president that will go down in history of mustering the courage under your watch for the establishment of war and economic crimes court. We will appreciate you. Our children will appreciate you, and unborn children will appreciate you, because I think this sets the path and opens up the path for this whole impunity and this message that if you have an issue, if you have a national issue, we are a country of laws. Go to court. There are many ways you can get your issues redressed, but running into the bushes, destroying, breaking down infrastructure, displaying families, killing innocent people, you will be held accountable. And so this is not just about Prince Johnson. This is about everyone who have taken advantage of the Liberian people, who have got us to where we are today. It's time for them to leave and go to court and go to jail. That's what it's about.
So last 5 minutes, everybody get 1 minute to close up.
Yeah.
But let me say this, so guys, based on what I'm not allowed to share it, but based on what I received tonight, I can tell you 99% I'm not convinced that the war crime code is settled. I see where the funding coming from. I see who will be providing security, everything I'm seeing here, and I think it's settled. So I can tell you that, Ridley, I'm telling you, if what I'm seeing, if they come to reality next week, Joe Buckeye will be given out of praises by Liberians. So honestly, but you guys can close up. Take your 1 minute.
Tomalin, I think, for all fairness, we need to commend President Buckeye. He said this, and he really laid by his word. I think kudos to the president for doing that. Because we said it all. The people in Nima suffer a lot during the war. I was in Cinca, JFK, when I saw the Nutrient Massacre. I was right in that compound opposite JFK when I saw people, babies and mothers, baby crying for the mother's dead, children crying, all running into JFK that morning. I was right outside. We were outside the fence. The late Thomas Donai, his brother, Franklin, James Etter, Howard, Councilor, all of us were in the same compound. And I saw them going in, and I saw some being rejected, taken out, and being shot right outside the fence. I saw the people from Grandjita, too, that were killed. A lot of them, too, that were slaughtered. And I remember going across the breach, and where soldiers took people from online and killing them, telling them to speak their Dalit, and if they suspected you of being from the Crown tribe, they would kill you. I saw other people because of their name. I saw my friend Ivan Cole, who's in Germany now, his dad, a pilot, who was trying to make his way across the bridge and find his way back to come to the States. He was killed because he was told to fly a plane and refused. We saw a lot. I think everybody suffered this war, and it's time that some of them will not see justice because they're already dead. But the one that are still alive, they can go to bed and say, I saw justice. I saw those perpetrators of the war crime going to jail. They can say, yes, I saw some of them, you know. So it is very important that we bring a closure to this. Probably that's why the country remains like that today. There's nothing really good that really come out of Liberia. Every time people try, it is just like that. It's because the blood and the perpetrators are still walking around freely. We're all being punished. And that's why Liberia remain what it is. And my hope is that justice will come and some of these folk will see the results of their wicked attitude. But let me say here that also we're talking about Ghana. I was in Ghana just last week, and what I would say is people are living there today and say they will never come home because of the atrocity that they witnessed. They say I can never go back. I'd rather die in the street here because of what I saw, and I would never go back for fear that they will experience those things. They don't want to come home. And sometimes we say, oh, they should have gone home. But some of them don't know the reason. The parents went there and had some of those kids. They can't come back because they know nobody in Liberia. And they tell you what the parents said about the war. They are there. They would rather die in the streets. So justice must come, because if these folks did not bring these heinous crimes, people won't be on a refugee camp today. But by the way, Sunday at 2 o'clock, we'll do a special show of Liberian refugees in Ghana. And they're suffering. But I want to thank again the president. I met the vice president and shared with him. And he said, I will talk to the president. And they have sent somebody to Ghana already. That's a good sign. And I hope that with the war crime, that will convince some of those folks now that war crime court is going to Liberia. They'll say, yeah, I'd rather go back home now and die than stay in the street. Thank you.
Wow. Guys, everybody can close in 1 minute. Everybody get a close in 1 minute, please. Savina?
Yes.
Yeah, let me close. First,
Okay.
last week first out. Yeah, let me close. No, it was a good show. I listened to your, as I was wrapping up work. A good show. The other thing I would chime in on the Allen White president. I know that was a long discussion. The fact that the court was an open court, I think most people said it. That means everybody could come in. If you didn't have firearm, you were not, you're not a risky person. You could come in. The same rules apply here. So people say, "Oh, Allen White was there. He was sitting in the back. If he was sitting even on the stage, you would have had a problem with him being there." So if the Senate felt that his presence was threatening, almost like police somewhere, so everybody started driving 40 miles per hour. They have the willpower to call this, to stop the session and say, okay, we'll convene another time. So they knew he was there. You cannot tell me that the leadership of the Senate didn't know that man was coming to America. They knew. The people, we are smart people, we are intelligent people. They knew that Mr. Allen was coming there, like any other citizen. He needed to be there. Once it was open, they needed to be there. If they knew it was historical and they didn't want any kind of, anybody there, just so them, let me speak up red English, then they should have made it that way. They had the willpower to do so. But once it was open, everybody had to be there. Robert, being in America, when I used to live in Austin, I used to go to hearing to the state capitol. Open session, I will be there. And once they said open session, I will go there and I will be there. Once I sit there and check my bag, I enter that session and I'm there until it finish. So, but there are times they will have closed session. We can't go in because with Yakaje, we can't go there. But once they say open to the public, everybody can go. Now, I get the concerns that people have with Mr. Allen White because, conflict of interest, whether perceived or actual, and the independence and all of that. But the people who deciding that to say who to lead, they will decide that. Quite honestly, Mr. White is a subject matter expert in this.
That is so called Grace. Sorry, Telvi.
Sorry, not you. Okay, wrap it up. Whether we like it or not,
Telvi,
we give a job in America, everybody here. If somebody got 7 years experience and somebody got no experience, who you think will get a job to 7 years of experience? He's the subject matter expert in it. Now, it's for the people who funding this to decide to say, okay, we're going to look at all the people who bidding for this and to see who they're going to give it. Chances are you'd be surprised that they give it to him because he's the subject matter expert with this. He has a proven record. Do we like him? No. But guess what? We begging the American people to fund it, so they would decide how that money would be spent and who they would get that money to. So that's all I got to say. Good show. Prince Johnson, wait for your time. Other people wait for your time in court. If you didn't do it, you have a just cause. You'll be exonerated. That's all I can say. Thank you, guys. I'm going to look for food to eat.
Okay, good. I think
Someone going?
Tony, I think
Someone going?
yeah, I think it should go right now
I
because
should close.
the time.
Someone going?
Close. Okay,
Yeah,
wait.
I'm going.
Okay, let's do 1 minute. One
Yeah.
minute.
Yes. So I'm
1
always
minute.
just be quick.
1 minute.
You know,
Okay,
today
so
as we go through the
after my turn,
discussion,
after the book,
2 minute things. 2 minute things
I
are
will go
running
to
my
my
mind.
That grace time.
at my turn.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, I want to applaud the Senate, and also Prince Johnson for mustering the courage to even sign that document and be a signatory to it. I mean, his name would be in history for that. So he did a very good job to sign it. I don't care the reason why he still there, he signed it, but he signed it. And I'm proud of him for doing that. Councillor Johnson, I commend you for doing that. You did a brave thing. It's the right thing to do. And not that Senator Johnson, actually. It's the right thing to do, and you did the right thing. If you don't go in history for anything, you will go in history for your name being signed on that paperwork, although you are a war criminal. I also want to say to him that you remember how you food dough at the Freeport? That Jahaj Joseph Waga fool you.
Yo, Grace. That's true.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
That one.
That's a good one.
I like that.
Wow. Grace, you got it. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, and then I would also like to say thanks to the.
I'll tell you. Grace,
you hear that money? Did I catch it? Did I catch
it? I would like to also, applaud the president for doing the right thing. Although I know that he was pushed, but at least all the other presidents were pushing. They never stood their ground, but he stood his ground and said, you know what, I will go forward and do it. And this was a nice show tonight. I hope you guys have a beautiful evening. Thank you.
Kev, you call the names?
Yeah,
I think.
Your 1 minute.
You're muted.
Oh, he gave up his 1 minute. Okay, Robert, you do your 1
No,
minute.
no, I didn't give up.
Okay, I think you gave up.
No, I have two screens, so I was trying to flip from one screen to another. Okay, so gentlemen, I'll be very quick. Here's what I will say here. I listened to this show. It was very energetic from the beginning to the end. Very interesting debate, very interesting discussion. And I hope we can have the same tomorrow with Senator Snow. We can put in a very high zone tomorrow. I hope so. And I listened to Robert, the passion Robert discussed, Senator Snow statement. I hope you will come by tomorrow and put that, and I'll be there to back you, okay? But here what I will say, Senator Johnson, in Liberia we say 99 days for rule, 1 day for master. I think the end of the political trickery in Liberia has come to an end. You told Jeremiah Kun, and both of you decided to honor all of Nimba citizens, wealthy Nimba citizens in the political process. Today, if Kun that you call your godson is truly your godson, let Kun issue a statement disagreeing with President Bouaka. Let him do it. Then we'll know that Kun is truly your godson. But I think Kun has sacrificed you at the altar of power for his own selfish gain. That's what I want to tell you. And with this end, you brought it on yourself, like we say in Liberia. Thank you.
Robert.
Look, fascinating show. It was great discussion. Thanks to all of our listening audience for always tuning in. But look, I have a lot of smiles on my face because this is something that we looked forward to, and to see this coming to realization is a great thing for our country. And I will hope that this sets the tone for a new page for Liberia. I've always believed that we have true character, we have decent people, we have men and women of integrity, we have smart, intelligent people, we have people who are not perfect, but they have great stories. They were victim of this war. They would have made different decisions if it was up to them, right? With regards to how do we address these issues. they should have a front row seat as to how we move forward, not Prince Johnson and others who got Liberia to where Liberia is right now. So I'm joyful, and I'm ecstatic, to be honest with you. And to Joseph Boycott, we will always be objective. This is just one portion of what you promised, and we must give credit where credit is due. I commend you for this. I applaud you for this, and like Kev said, I also applaud the leadership of the House, Speaker of Fafana and Senator Kanga Lawrence. I applaud you guys for being swift and getting this to be signed. And I hope this is a new day for Liberia, and that we send a message that if you dare attempt to disrupt the peace and stability in our country, if you dare attempt to put us into chaos, you will have your day in court and you will be held accountable. So I look forward tomorrow. I look forward to engage. I look forward to engaging Senator Snow tomorrow. Thank you.
Lofa, the studio is texting. Let's do it quick.
Okay. I mean, like like everybody else said, it was a great and much more fascinating conversation. Let us continue to do it that way, and again, focus on the issue here. The issue here is that Liberians want justice and accountability. As far as Senator Snow, I think his statement was a bluff. His statement clearly revealed his hypocrisy, and Liberians are now ready for justice and accountability. He had several years where he sat in the Senate. He did not advocate for Liberian and better life for Liberian. Instead, he was living luxuriously, flying private jets and literally just flaunting in the faces of Liberians. So now that we have other people pushing for the opportunity to bring justice to Liberia, I think he should be a part of the process and just follow the road, be a part of it, and let Liberians get what they deserve at the end of the day. Even if you are part of it, follow the process and make sure that Liberians get justice. Send Allen White presence in there today. I see nothing wrong with it, and I hope that more international partners will come and be a part of this process to make sure that justice and accountability is brought to Liberia, and we can actually move forward so that we can institute what is right in the process of moving Liberia in a better direction. Thus far, I think we are on the right trajectory. Thank you to my uncle, Honorable Joseph Numa Boykai. Bravo to you. Keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, Lofa people, all of your family. Yeah, so I'm not going to close because of the time, Tomalin.
So guys, it's been a great show, and Lord, thanks. And I know from what I'm gathering, that you have the European Union, ECOWAS, the UN, all will be involved with this process. So this is a done deal, and I can tell you by next week, Liberian people will be able to at least finally raise some hope for the closure of this thing. But guys,
I think the first mission will arrive in Liberia in May, probably.
So guys, thank you, man. So let's call it a day.
Know that it's
Liberia, keep praying for Liberia and wish the best for Liberia.
Thank you.
See you guys. See you on Friday. See you on Friday.
No show tomorrow.
Every show will be yet to 100%.
I will confirm with him tonight. So okay.